Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm not going up there. I like to be closer to the people. So good morning to all of you, and welcome to this time together where we are going to share and I'm a learning champion. I like to be where we are learning something. And I like the kind of learning where I'm not telling you something to just take it, but where light is on your own mind. Because that's the kind of learning that is sustainable. So I'm a financial consultant with Shadow Consult and also a leadership transformational coach, certified. Shadow Consult does financial advisory and also people development. But today, I'm representing my company, the CEO of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, Moses Jato. He's not here, so I'm presenting this on behalf of the institute. I have to be a fellow and I can see another Chartered banker. Are there any other Chartered bankers in the room? No Chartered bankers. So I think from here you should see the lady in a red top and start your journey to become a Chartered banker, because you have people with a lot of skills that you need. In ensuring that you dissociate yourself from any inherited poverty or perpetuating it after you. So our conversation is basically going to look at the role of banks in estate and gift planning. So here, a quick presentation. So for my outline first, we'll look at a quick introduction. I'm sure you are wondering what's we mean when we talk about estate planning. Is it that new real estate or the way that we are referring to gift planning? I think it is why do you have to plan it? If you have these questions on your mind, just do a quick intro on that, and then look at the main actors in the space when we talk about estates and gift planning. And then we'll look at the benefits of long-term financial planning. What I mean is that I'm also a member of the Association of Chartered Securities and Investors UK. So we do financial planning as well there. And we look at the roles of financial institutions. At the Chartered Institute of Bankers, obviously, we are interacting and engaging with a number of financial institutions, and we are one of the main actors when we talk about estate and gift planning. And then we look at a few best practices to pay attention to the challenges and some proposed solutions as well. Going to talk about national estate and gift planning. Let's put the national side, because we are looking at the global scale, and we want to begin to look at where our GDP is and where the GDP per capita, what's my own share, and then before we begin to talk about the percentage of debts that we carry as a nation. So that's where the legacy of poverty is already coming from at the national level when we divide our debts per capita. Before you are going to take a loan from the bank, you already carry some. Debt is really no fault of yours. So focus more on the individual. But when you talk about estate and gift planning, your mind should be focused on all the processes and activities that we put together, enabling us to create wealth, manage the wealth, pass on that wealth, because guess what, none of us lives here with any of the wealth that we create. We don't leave the face of the planet there, the wealth. We must face the world to be comfortable and secure financially, and yet when we are living, we don't leave them, so we must have a plan that allows you to transfer those gifts in a cost-effective way from your hands to new owners. And our vision in gift and estate planning is that this is done while you are alive, because it's more cost-effective to do that than to die and your estate is there, your assets, your wealth, whatever you have created, and then you have to figure out what to do with it. The cost implications then get higher than if you transfer it while you're alive. In the midst of trying to manage manage, build your wealth, and transfer it. As soon as you hear me talk about transfer, that's the legal dimensions coming in there, because you are the one that earned this, you are the one that created this wealth, you are the owner, possess it, and now the ownership is going to transfer from you to another person. There are legal processes that we need to go through, and that's why we have a lot of lawyers also whenever we talk estate. And then we have all the other professional service providers in between. So planning will involve a careful consideration of different factors. And some of the factors that you probably have already guessed by now is, where is the wealth that the estate that we are talking about? What's the size? How significant or insignificant is it? The interesting thing is that whether it's significant or insignificant, the person who is holding it is going to go, and somebody else must hold it when they are gone. So it's beside the point, but the cost implications and how stringent the process should be and how professional become material dependent on the size of the estate. And then we also look at what does the estate owner want? What are their preferences? What are their choices? So it's customized. You don't have the one size fits all. The MC moderator at the beginning went around and tried to see what your expectations are for today's program. Some of you may say different things. Maybe there were things that sounded a bit similar. Same goes for when we are doing estate and gift planning. Different people have different things they want. So we don't have a one size fits all approach where you see a wife must be transferred to a husband, or a husband must be transferred to a wife or to children. There is choice involved, and we must respect the choices that are involved there. And then the legal tax implications of the transfer, I think I alluded to that we were looking at that. Depending on the size of the estate, what components we have in the estate, they will also determine the legal and the tax implications. Who are the main actors? I've already mentioned that the bankers are one of the main actors. But we start always with the client. When we talk about the client, it's you and it's I. The people that have some assets, something they have generated that they would like to pass on as part of their estate planning or as gifts. Okay. And then we have the legal aspects. Maybe I give this slide after I had already made reference. What are the importance of having a long-term financial plan? I speak a lot of financial plan. So here are 4 key benefits, top level of long-term financial planning. You may have already guessed, if you are planning your finances very well over the long term, at the national level, for example, you shouldn't have the kind of debt burdens that we have currently per capita. If the planning is not effective or is not going well, that's when you end up with that kind of situation. But that's at the macro level. Now, when we bring it to the micro level, at our level, in our homes, individuals, it's also important what you do with your plan. If you don't have a plan of where you want to get to, if you don't have any financial goals, you are certainly not going to achieve them. Allow me to make reference to a certain businessman in Ghana called Despite. The story around this, he says that he started off selling musical cassettes or things like that at Kantamanto. And today, he's quite a wealthy and renowned businessman in Ghana. I haven't spoken to him directly to understand what his long-term financial plans were. But I can already conclude that he was a driven young man. He had a certain vision for the long term. And the vision was to dig himself out of whatever poverty put him in the place where he was selling those cassettes on the streets of Makala. Some of you are sitting in tertiary institutions across the country, so you can already imagine yourself being a little bit ahead where you started. And my question to you is, what's that long-term vision that you have for yourself, for finances? What goals have you set for yourself? Because if you spend time to do the thinking, strategizing, and planning, you will get to enjoy these benefits. Security. When you don't know what's coming up next, fear of the unknown, we can feel pretty insecure. If you have no idea what this looks like, go back to the year 2020, between the months of February and July. During this period in the year after the COVID virus had been discovered, there were lots of uncertainties, rumors about upcoming lockdown, people trying to stock up food, trying to stock up water for the shopping malls in Ghana. And we were seeing videos from outside the country where people were literally fighting over supplies, for example, in the shops out there, the shops were being cleared, shelves were being empty. When we don't know what lies ahead, we can feel insecure. This was when we didn't know whether we would be able to go out to buy things from the shops. That was how we behaved. That was how we felt. And then I think at some point, I happened to be a poultry farmer as well. I was given an ID so that I could drive out during the Ghana lockdown to go and pick feed, because I don't need my own feed from the factory, and to also distribute poultry products, eggs, and dress and package chicken to my customers. But for the rest of it, maybe you didn't have that luxury. One occasion, I had a police escort to go to the market because there were barriers in the city. Some of you, maybe you didn't come out to see what was happening. And you don't know whether you will run out of something you have in your home. Let's talk about your finances. How does it feel when you don't know where your next meal is going to come from? How does it feel when you don't know whether your school fees will be paid for you to return to school? How does it feel when you don't know whether you'll be able to raise enough money to pay your rent? Maybe some of you are too young to have some of these cares and responsibilities, but they are coming in just a matter of a few months to years. So planning, having that long-term financial plan has the benefit of giving you that security. Because you've been saving up bit by bit. You have this project here, you have this side poultry farm, you have this thing there, and you know that worst case scenario, some things will come together, and then you'll be able to meet anticipated obligations. Should you fall sick, should you need to undergo surgery, etc. It gives you that peace of mind, that security. Quickly running through the remaining frame, it helps you to achieve your financial goals. In the plan, you have a long-term plan that says, I'm going to accumulate X amount of money in, should I say the analysis, so I should make it a foreign currency. You can have a goal that says that I want to be independent to the extent that I don't call on anybody when I need to undertake certain ventures. I want to be able to have an annual vacation outside the country. I want to be able to go on cruises, for example. So whatever it is that you aspire for your financial goal, whatever financial freedom means to you, setting that long-term plan and subsequent short-term, medium-term goals to ensure that you are able to achieve those dreams that you have. And then it also helps you to accumulate well. My favorite part is the retirement planning, so that right now, when you are young and you have all the energy, you can go and come, you can do papa, as we call it in Ghana, and you make ends meet. In retirement, your energy levels are not quite so high, and you have to depend on whatever you have built. If you didn't have a long-term plan, probably will not have to talk about those twilight years when your energy levels say that it's 9 a.m. but I still want to be in bed. My dad is 76 years, and when I visit him these days, I have to wait a little bit before he comes out. So So you need to plan. What do you just slow you down? It's not by choice. The fourth benefit is that you are able to get an idea of what risks you face so that you can put mitigation plans in place before they happen. So you get to anticipate certain risks and you build the risk management strategy into your plan as well. Some of the risks that we talk about, I have given the example of what we have to understand, where they say medical care. See people, things happening and you come in and do appeals to support them. When you see those appeals, please, even if it's 20 cities, 10 cities, 5 cities, help. You never know where that will go, but I think we should think about ourselves and try to do something in place to deal with these emergencies. Then we have job losses. When we talk about emergency funds, they cater to some of these things that are listed under the risk management. That gives you a buffer, makes you financially resilient so you can bounce back faster when something happens to you financially or the economy takes a new turn. The role of financial institutions. So the role of financial institutions here are quite simple. We provide the avenue for you to grow your wealth. We also provide safe custody. So there are banking accounts, current savings, where you can put your money there and protect it for you. When you need it, you can come back for it. And then you have the investment product where you can actually grow your wealth and take note that we are talking about mainstream commercial banks and investment banks. Sometimes they are interacting partnerships where you can buy investment products, the bank of the commercial banks. And then you also have retirement planning institutions like the SNAs and the trust, pension trust companies that we have in the country. And then we have the estate and trust services. Currently, most of them sit as a unit in an investment bank or in a legal consulting firm. And then we have the risk management side where we have insurance companies providing us that buffer. And then we have the institutions that promote financial interest. Again, we have all the financial institutions contributing towards the drive to achieve higher financial literacy, as well as the rise of Center for Financial Literacy and the artists who are just focused on championing financial literacy. Talking about investment management trust and wealth, can you see my chart? Can you see the little writing there? You can see. So that's the wealth, that's the trust, and then we have investments. I get to focus more on the core, which is the investment. And I believe that the lawyers will dwell more on the wealth and the trust because they help us to establish these contracts. So when we talk about investment management, that has to do more with all the activities that will help you to grow your wealth. So what the banks do, you set up an account with KYC to make sure that the money is being earned from an activity that does not destroy society. Those are the ones that you catch through anti-money laundering activities like terrorism, drug dealing and trafficking, child trafficking, prostitution, terrorism activities, anything that is done in what we call the black economy, secretive. We make sure that we don't earn the money from any of these sources because we want to promote the growth and advancement of society. Progress is our focus. And then we make sure that we have the needed research to place the funds that we invest into our care in investments that will generate more money for you. Let me call it more returns to get more. Sometimes we also provide advisory here on what activities that we engage in to generate additional income. And then we help you to generate a portfolio that is diversified so that you balance the risk in your portfolio. Then we have the trust side of the estate and gift planning, where you are entering into agreements and contracts that ensure that whatever wealth you have generated in the investment space is being protected, is being safeguarded, and that there are controls and measures in place to pass what you have earned on to the right and legitimate people that you want to benefit from in a sustainable way. There are many different kinds of trust. I need the lawyers to get into the details. And I know that they are often established to make sure, for example, some people don't want poverty for the generations after them. So their children's children, and they set up a trust that continues to have funds invested, and there are provisions for how you can access the benefits that trust. And then finally, we have the will. And the will as well is the express statement of what the owner of the estate wants done when they have passed on. It also has to go through certain processes and be executed, and it's lying down waiting. And there are provisions on what time it will be in and read, and what needs to be done in order to access the benefits that are in that will. Challenges and solutions that we experience in the space of gift and estate planning. So the first one has to do with tax complexities. A lot of us don't quite understand the tax implications and obligations when it comes to our estate and gift plans. Some of us who become privy to it, we just don't get it. It is my wealth. I have generated it, I own it, and I'm using it. How come that suddenly when I want to gift it or when I have to pass it on, there are tax implications coming? So I think our refusal to accept that reality, that we need to respect the tax obligations, are tied to make it difficult for us to understand the complexities. I was having a chat with Mr. Council, and I was cross-checking because I've interacted with people where it seems the tax rate, especially on estate after the person has passed, is so high, but the figure was given me something around 3%, it's not that high. But the impression I get from people trying to access the estate that they are parents in, it's looking like 30%, so that we don't know how to finance it, we can't begin to take possession of the estate and enjoy it. These are the complications there, but again, we have the professionals to help us navigate the complexities there. And then asset valuation. This is my house located at East Legon Hills, and how do I determine the value of it? If you bring a roadside valuer, they come and tell you it's worth 1 million. You may bring a professional valuer and they come and tell you it's worth 600. You yourself are maybe doing a historical valuation and you are putting together the price of the cement and other materials you put in, and it's coming to something like 300,000. Which one is the proper way to value your assets? It's a bit complex when you look at it from property. And a lot of us against what we like to build as our legacy. That comes under estate planning often is multiple properties in different locations for different purposes, commercial, residential, etc. Family dynamics. When we say we are in our estate and gift plans, which means that sometimes the gift is going to somebody whilst they are alive, and people are getting to have an understanding of how much wealth we actually have and who is likely to get it all. We are likely to also have division and fight in the family. In fact, in our culture, some people are avoid, the reason why some people don't want a will, they are afraid they will die after soon if they decide to get their will done. And there are those that are also afraid family members will kill them. so they can quickly access. This is even where you like you put together for when you die. How much more estate that and a plan that people become aware of while you are alive, that these are your intentions. So the conflict, the misunderstanding, the disagreement, people feeling peeved. Sometimes some people have passed gift or saying that I will continue to use it until I pass on. And then suddenly they are being kicked out of their own homes. So all these dynamics are challenges that impact the space of estate and gift planning. And then we have the legal and the regulatory challenges. Clarity around the provisions that are available when it comes to planning your estate and gifts. And the mindset that lawyers are expensive, there are a lot of them in the room. Please speak for yourself when you take the stage. Are you expensive? I know the story is the name when we talk about financial consultants and planners. The mindset that we are expensive, we talk about books. So we will not use any of the professional services, but I know we always have a way to support people who are still approaches. And the final challenge I want to touch on is certain degree of expertise. Having people that actually understand what it is that we do in this space. So I'm very happy that we have, I think this is the second year or third year running that we are doing the gift and estate planning, and then there's the launch of the national agenda, which I believe will go a long way to push awareness and also manage the space. These are my proposed solutions, but when I was going through the preceding slide, I sort of touched on a few of them. You can have family meetings where you try to encourage understanding and also use mediation to settle the conflict that arise in the family arena. We work in collaboration. I remember there was one year, Peter had a conversation with me and I said, Ken, are you available to support? So when you look at the UN SDGs, goal number 17 says partnership. It's an era where we collaborate to deliver solutions. So you don't need the financial experts to put together a rate. I always lean on the lawyers because they have the other side of what I need in order to support our clients. And so there's that collaboration to take care of where we don't have the expertise, the all-rounded expertise to serve our clients. And then when it comes to asset valuation as well, that we prefer you rely on professional valuers so that you don't have the tax authority saying that no, this property is worth a lot more and you should pay more tax than what you are suggesting. And then we also have the educational support where you would have the likes of the Chartered Institute of Bankers have our doors widely open to support you. Peter and his team are also doing their bits from the Center for Financial Literacy. So a few best practices, and this is my last slide. It's very important that you document and share your plans. It doesn't matter how young or how old you are. It's crucial. We are aware of people in the banking sector that have died, and they have a lot of funds on their accounts, but their family members don't know. Some of them, their family members have actually become destitute. We don't have a way until recently that BOG is trying to make provisions for you to approach and make inquiries. Because of disclosure, confidentiality reasons, we know, you don't know. Please don't let that be your story. Note down, don't keep them just like people say during financial planning, oh, my budget is in my head. And yet when you say put it on paper, then they start struggling. Everything is so fluid in our minds, but when we put it down, it becomes clearer. So write it down. Utilize trust wisely. That one you speak to the lawyers and they will show you the ins and the outs of how to optimize the benefits that you can enjoy from establishing trusts. And then we also have seeking an understanding of the tax implications. I don't know if some of our tax experts are here in the room. Usually we would have KPMG or PwC or Deloitte, usually Deloitte in the room to also handle that bit for us. In this room is just the tip of the iceberg. but it's your opportunity to also connect and network with these people. Don't think that I don't have anything today. As part of your long-term plan, begin to think about how far you are going to go, how big your estate is going to grow, so that you're already making those connections and you will learn and be ready when you get there. Set very clear long-term goals when it comes to your finances and start early. Diversify your investments so that when DDEP catches you in one, and you don't want to go the way of financial securities, you still have some assets that continue to provide a financial buffer for you. Bringing my presentation to a close, I want to rehash the importance of starting early. Starting early, and that's what makes it perfect that we have a lot of young people in the room. But next year, don't let us beg you. I don't know if you were begged to get here. You should be running. Somebody said she felt special. She felt selected. That should be how you feel. And as a leader, you want to also encourage and rally more people around you to come with you to benefit from this kind of knowledge. Because guess what? In the society, if you are enlightened on something and the people around you are not enlightened on the same and they are not working towards it, they actually become a drain, a burden that pulls you back and slow down your pace of achieving your goals, in this case for your estate and gift planning. Thank you.
Put your hands together for Madam Doris.
Do we take questions?
Okay, yeah.
So maybe
let's have a couple of questions, yeah. Okay. Few ones.
How do you want to take it? A number before we answer? Or?
All right. Can we have, if you want to ask a question, let me see your hands. Let's try and then meter it at one. Okay. Only one. Go ahead.
Thank you for the presentation. So I actually have two questions. I'm Daniela Anani. So my first question is regarding the assets. You mentioned how sometimes liquidity becomes an issue when it comes to valuation. So is there a type of asset that is best to acquire when you want to plan for estates or gift planning?
Great question, Daniela. And this is why I want us all to try and purge our minds and see where we can disturb the comfort of our mindset about I'm going for the ideal, I'm going for the best. We have no such thing, because we are not all the same and our circumstances are not all the same. Even the times and the seasons are not all the same. We had sovereign investments across the world. We call them risk-free because a new government will always come and pay. Look at what is happening. So you don't approach anything with the mindset that this is the best and I'm sticking to it. It's only best based on the times and the seasons and the circumstances. Okay. So we recommend having a diversified portfolio. At any point in time, you should have many different things in your portfolio. And the many different things that you have there, they should reflect who you are, what your needs are, what your obligations and responsibilities are, what your earning capacity is. For a young person, when I was in my second year, I did a national internship with the European Union micro projects, EU micro projects at the time. And the country director at the time just gave me this advice. She said, Doris, this is a time when you young ladies want to buy shoes and very fanciful clothes. But I think you should aim to get a land first before you get anything. And I think that was a great advice. I decided to be working towards land. I got somebody that knew those that sell the land, and the first plot of land that I bought, I actually paid in installments. So there was the, if you like, character guarantee. So when I talk financial planning, I always like to say our character is always very integral to what kind of our long-term financial future is going to be in a sustainable way. Your character will make somebody vouch for you. And once they vouch for you, that's capital. So you can start working towards your first land. It's there, it's secured for you. You can begin to do whatever and you are paying it down I think it's still a good advice. You may not start with land at East Legon. I didn't start with land at East Legon. But land is, over time, appreciate. If it's not sited next to a refuse dump or a nuclear site reactor, I think you are good to start from there. But then it's not liquid. So you must also have some things that give you. A lot of students are running businesses on the campuses today. I've interacted with a number of achieved businessmen on the continent who say that look to invest in something that brings you cash flow daily. We eat daily. So I'm happy when I see condensed milk candy in traffic. I believe that you eat that on campuses as well. These are our local snacks. We eat them every day. Clothes, we wear them every day. They wear out. So if you decide to buy t-shirts, put a design on it, and be doing this as side business on campus, that's cash flow in your hands to take care of your diversification needs since you've locked yourself in land. I'll just end it here.
Thank you very much. Then my second question, do you have any advice on when it comes to setting financial goals? Because I think most of us young people, it's kind of hard to look far into the future, maybe 30 years from now, where you want to be. But is there any advice that you can give as to how to set those goals?
Thank you. My advice is that always be authentic when you are setting your goals. Don't set your goal because Araba set this goal. That's not how you set your goals. I know that when we come for events like that and we ask you for your expectations, sometimes you want to say what somebody has said. Maybe our current school regime is part of it. Your response has to be like what the lecturer said. So we are all copying and cutting and pasting. But please be original. None of us want the same things. None of us will be fulfilled by the same things. Each one of us has those things that will give us satisfaction in our lives. And we are also coming from different places. We would have had different poverty level legacies that were handed over to us. So you should set your goals such that it's able to take care of your needs. We have this adage, some people are born with golden spoons on their mouths, or they are born on top of the hill. Their goals will be different from your own goal if you are going to be the first graduate from your family. So set your goals being authentic. Look at yourself, look at your circumstances, and go for what you want. Now, it shouldn't be too hard for you to say, I'm young now, I can't see my way clearly into the future. No, it's about what you want now. Today you look at your circumstances and say, what do I desire in 30 years, in 40 years, in 50 years? How do I want to be living my life? That should be pretty easy to describe. You want somebody to be driving you in a limousine back and forth. It doesn't take age for you to have this imagination, if that is what you want for yourself. So just think about you. Imagine what you want for yourself and be completely original. The beautiful thing is that once you begin to imagine, you don't need to have the money in your hand before you start planning. But you dream and set the goals, and now you begin to work towards it. If you set certain goals, then you know that you should have a poultry farm on the side. Then you know that maybe you should stop working here and go looking for a different kind of work. Because you've set a certain goal. The goal is what motivates you and drives you to achieve that future which you aspire to attain. Daniela, does that help? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so my name is Erasmus, and my question is, in drafting my will, and then in the cost of getting a legal endorsement on it, and then before getting that legal endorsement, I happen to die without getting it. How then is my asset going to be managed? Is it going to be seized by the state or given to my family or anything?
So what I'm hearing you say is that essentially the will is crafted.
Yes.
And I know that we usually do these things in partnership with a legal advisor. So is there a lawyer friend who is aware of what you are doing?
Okay, yeah. No, yeah.
there's a lawyer friend who is aware of what you are doing. So
Yes.
they can take it up and get, what do you call it? Is it a probate? There's something, you take it to the law court. And who are the lawyers here? Help me. They take the documents to the court and they do something to it. I've forgotten the word. Is it probate? They get the... So this is more of a legal...
I think my understanding of your question is that the will is drafted but wasn't signed, and the person passed on. Yes. So there are two things. You can assume the will wasn't done because it's still not signed. You can also take it that if there are some bits and pieces of evidence that shows that this is the will of this person. For instance, he had a handwritten will before the typed one, and it is the typed one that is not signed. You can put the handwritten one together with the typed one and still deposit it at the High Court anyway. You see, so that at some point you can proceed with letters of administration as if the will is attached. You see. Normally, but in most cases, we can easily identify the handwriting of a person. So it depends on how it was done. If everything was typed, there's nothing handwritten, nothing that shows that this is what the person intended. Then once the will wasn't signed, there was no will. But if there are other documents that show that this is what the person intended to do and that actually this is the will, then you can still proceed and deposit it at the High Court.
Okay, good morning, ma'am. I'm Sorogo Mohammed Abdurrauf, and I cited in your presentation that one of the advantages or the importance of long-term planning or long-term financial planning is retiring comfortably. But it has come to my attention that most of the sole proprietors or the one-man businesses don't have any plans for pension or don't have a pension scheme. So I think when they retire, they face some difficulties. So what are the plans or maybe strategies to bridge that gap?
When I started my national service, that was when my father approached me with a folder. He retired as, even though he's a mechanical engineer, he retired as a Methodist minister. And they have programs they run for them at the Methodist Church. They are ministers, so he had attended a retirement conference. And this is how I developed that personal emotional attachment to pensions and retirement planning. I said I should look at it and I should start my own retirement planning. I had just started national service. So the first thing I did as my retirement planning was to pay off my SNET student loan. I enjoyed the student loan. So, and then I became a campaigner to all my friends to pay down their student loan because it's just accumulating interest for you. And some people think they can run away from it. But by the time you are retiring, you go there and it's sitting there, having grown, you'll be shocked. Thankfully, the national authorities have put in place a provision for the people in the informal sector. We have something we call informal sector pensions. So you don't only have to be in formal employment to be able to contribute through SNET, the institution's SNET, towards your retirement. And so you can join me on this advocacy. When you go to buy Kofi Brookman, when you go to buy tomatoes from the market, when you buy something from the provision shop in your neighborhood, ask them, do they have a plan for their retirement? Do they know that SNET has an opportunity, an avenue for you to just walk in and say, I work for myself, or I'm even unemployed at this time, but I don't want to have a gap in my contribution. They have that provision as well, where you can be contributing personally towards your own pensions until such a time that you have another job, and if you are working for yourself as well, there's no excuse why you should not be contributing. If they tell you that they think their business is better retirement plan for them than the provisions as SNET, that's another conversation. Then they would need to put in place maybe a special financial plan supported by a fund manager or a financial advisor, so that they can be building something themselves on the side with some insurance elements to make sure that by the time they retire, they still have the cover. Because even in their own businesses, a time comes when they can't go to Techiman to go and bring the corn anymore. And they can decide to send somebody or send the money by Momo and the goods never get here. Those things do happen. So let's campaign. There's the knowledge gap where people don't know what is available. But if we did encourage them that indeed a time will come when they can't go on their trips and they need to put something aside, they will. And there are alternatives if you look in that space when they say SNET money is not enough, because it's usually not enough. And why will it be enough? Currently, you are chopping over 70% and you are setting aside 30%, and you expect that 30% maximum also to be enough for you when you go on retirement. No. Thank you. I believe that in the interest of time, we will end it here and we will continue the conversation out there.
And if you're delighted, put your hands together for Madame Doris Ekati. You can do it, but put it loud for her. It's been a very energizing session, very insightful. In fact, you should appreciate what she's done for us this morning. Set the right tone for us to appreciate the intricacies. But pardon me to do this very important thing, to acknowledge our special guests and dignitaries. It's very important. Let me start by acknowledging the presence of the man who's been here already, Mr. Daniel Foy Dankwa. Put your hands together for him, sir. Give us a wave. The president of Pro Prata Limited, advisory board member for the CLFLE, and also Mr. Kennedy Biafe Efa Esquire, legal practitioner. Put your hands together for him, sir. That's him over there. You saw his impact. And also to the adorable Madame Adjoa Mensima Quento Esquire, legal practitioner. You'll be hearing more from her soon. And also Mr. Isaka Ibrahim, general manager for Metropolitan Insurance Ghana. He didn't come alone, he came with his beautiful better half. Put your hands together for her, she deserves an applause for that. Finally is Mr. Kwame Apia, mental consultant, advisory member, CLFA. If you're here, put your hands together for Mr. Kwame Apia, an advisory member for the CFLE. And also, let me acknowledge the presence of Pen TV. Pen TV, are you here? So Pen TV is joining us, Joy Business News, GH1 TV, and also your very own AAU TV. Put your hands together for our media houses for what they're doing for us. And that's a special one from AAU TV to all students who are here. Madam Doris said that if your business starts early, AAU is giving you the chance to come advertise your business for free. Put your hands together for yourselves, yes. For free. So just get this number, 0266, I can just put that for you, 0266 296 601, 0266 296 601. AAU TV gives you that continental platform to be seen over 27 countries in Africa, so you can market your business. We are helping each other to grow. Right from here, you should be able to send that business out there and build that dream from day one. 0266 296 601. Start your future plans now. So at this point, it's a big applause for you, yourself. Clap for yourself, guys. Yes. I'm so delighted. So today we'll have lots of this happening. Before we move on to that very anticipated panel discussion, we'll have to hear from the convener, the dream bearer of this whole initiative, our very own Mr. Peter Kwejo Asarenyako, Executive Director for the Center for Financial Literacy Education, to come up here and then give us his remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. Hello.
Hi.
I hope you are doing good. Awesome. Let me acknowledge my distinguished guests, speakers, and panelists. Madam Doris has given us an insightful presentation. Can we show more appreciation to that presentation? So I'm here to welcome you and share with you an approach we are using to end inherited poverty. One thing I've realized in Africa is that most of us do not inherit wealth from our parents, and the cycle keep on growing. So how can we come together to end this narrative? So in the spirit of celebrating October Estate and Gift Planning Awareness Month, I welcome you all to the National Estate and Gift Planning Awareness Conference. Before I expound on ending inherited poverty, our comprehensive approach, and the strategic master plan, I would like us to ponder on some few imaginations. Imagination, they say, creates reality. Imagine a household where basic necessities such as food, shelter, clothing, education, and healthcare isn't a challenge. Imagine a community or a township where the people within the community have access to excellent jobs and good working conditions, career opportunities, business opportunities when needed. Imagine a country where businesses and citizens have access to reliable state-of-the-art infrastructures and a sustainable growing economy. What do you think would do to the standard of living of the people? Unfortunately, our world and the world around us is experiencing the exact opposite of these imaginations. The poverty gap is widening day in and day out. Families are inheriting poverty instead of wealth. There is no or little generational wealth. And so, to address this concern, the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa, the Financial Awareness Foundation, and our growing strategic partners, such as the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, Ghana Association of Banks, and now Ghana Bar Association, we are working to significantly improve financial awareness and financial literacy. And we believe financial literacy is the missing link. Once the people are financially literate, they are able to create wealth for themselves, and they are able to make decisions and plan for their future. So estate and gift planning is one aspect of financial planning. And before you can plan your estate, you need to be financially literate. So to end inherited poverty, we therefore cannot and should not repeat the same thing over and over and over again. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, they say, is insanity. We need to create a new path. We need to think outside the norm. We need to think outside the box. Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa, we develop and promote financial literacy skills in Ghana and across Africa, especially among young Africans. So I'm happy to see a lot of young people here today. Oh, clap for yourselves. Our mission is to empower and educate all Ghanaians and Africans to make financially informed decisions through a comprehensive financial planning and coaching. CFLE helps individuals make informed money decisions, plan for the future, and live a debt-free life. CFLE and our strategic partners, through the improving financial awareness and financial literacy movement in Ghana and across Africa. Currently, we are in 12 African countries. We are creating massive financial awareness and preparing individuals to be financially informed citizens and leaders. And just like Mr. Oforidankwa said, that means knowing what they want to do with their life with an action plan and their financial resources through a comprehensive personal financial estate and gift plan. Further, CFLE Africa helps families pass on their values, knowledge, and assets to future generations, and charitable causes. And so if you are a student of University of Professional Studies, we want you to graduate from school, come back and build an auditorium for University of Professional Studies. Oh, clap for that. If you are a student of University of Ghana, we want you to graduate from University of Ghana, go into the job market, make all the money, because you are going to plan your finances well, come back to campus and build a library for the school. This is what we want individuals to do. The plan is to touch every woman, man, and child at least twice a year through a concentrated community and countrywide personal finance content media blast built around 2 campaign months. So every October, we are creating awareness on financial literacy. We call it the Financial Literacy Month. And in October, we create massive awareness on estates and gift planning. This is a massive undertaking. However, we believe this can and is being accomplished through collaboration and active participation. We have been able to collaborate with the Central Bank. It will excite you to know that in 2021, the Bank of Ghana supported some of our financial literacy initiatives. We believe to build a robust economy and solve most of our challenges, the Central Bank, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education, and other government stakeholders must play a critical role in providing financial literacy education. 2, we will also want to collaborate with the financial service and financial product companies and professionals. We have been working with most of them during Financial Literacy Month and Estate Planning Awareness Month. We have been working with Prudential Life Insurance Ghana, Aziz Pension, EcoBank and UDC Investment, and others. And we believe with active participation, this can serve as a huge marketing tool and a great social service. We are also collaborating with Financial Service Association and members, and we are happy to partner with the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, Ghana Association of Banks, and other associations to encourage financial planning so we can end inherited poverty. We also want to collaborate with employers, corporate organizations, and telecommunication companies. We are working with KPMG, Deloitte, ProPatra, Ghana Think Foundation, and other companies as key partners. What if thought leaders from the telecommunication company, agriculture, mining, healthcare, tourism get behind the movement? What do you think will happen to the people in the country? We believe we will touch, motivate, educate many more people efficiently. We also want to work with non-profits, religious organizations, and social change organizations. We would like to use this opportunity to invite churches, social welfare services, and other change organizations to join in and actively participate in the financial literacy agenda. Personally, I believe a financially literate society is what we need to create a stable economy and prevent a lot of social vices. And so if the church is supposed to create a peaceful environment, then they need to join us in our quest to promote financial literacy, which will give each and everyone a peaceful mind so they don't go out there and create any violence. There's this quote I like so much. A hungry man is an angry man. And so if people are not getting food into their stomach, any little thing will cause confusion. And so once we create an enabling environment where each and everyone is financially stable, we will end violence. We are also working with educational institutions, and we want to work with more educational institutions. We are actively working and touching a dozen of Ghana universities and high schools. We are working with University of Ghana in their Great Business School, University of Education, UNIBA, UPSC, Cadric University, Central University, UDS, and most of the technical universities across the country. We want to touch more universities so we can educate the students. We want to collaborate with thought-leading philanthropists because we need resources. To be able to do this, you need resources. And so we want to collaborate with major philanthropists, grant providers, influencers, health and social welfare organizations, and most importantly, the media. The media is the mouthpiece to the community. And in Ghana, most of our information, most of the things we circulate on our media, personally, I think we need to really look at it. And if we want to empower people and help people better manage their finances, then the media should get behind the financial literacy agenda and share information that will motivate Ghanaians and educate them to create a decent livelihood. Today, we are gathered here for the maiden edition of National Estate and Gift Planning Awareness Conference, a conference that seeks to bridge the gap between the legal community, the financial community, and we, the people, the general public. Estate and gift planning is a key element of the financial planning process. Surprisingly, over 80% of Ghanaians do not establish a will or a trust due to a perceived lack of assets. So when you talk to 3 people, 2 people will tell you, I don't have assets, so I can't write a will. 1 in 3 Ghanaians claim they don't have enough wealth to leave to their loved ones. However, even those without a significant asset can benefit from creating a will, powers of attorney, and maybe a living trust earlier on. If you get sick, who will make financial decisions for you? Who will make healthcare decisions for you? When you pass, who gets what of your assets? Who cares for your children? This is what estate and gift planning helps you to put in place. Estate and gift planning is an opportunity to give a lasting gift to those you have loved during your lifetime and to those who serve in areas where you would like to gift and share your valuable wealth with. And so most people, when they acquire wealth, they create estates or giftings for their community. So Bill Gates has created a foundation that donates to support healthcare activities and social change initiatives. So as young people, and I know we are going to be millionaires and billionaires, once we create our wealth, we should make provision for estates. We should give back to society. We should touch other people so we can help make the world a better place for all. October is indeed Estate and Gift Planning Awareness Month. It is the month that we underscore the importance and the impact of completing an estate and gift plan. By preparing an estate and gift plan, you are safeguarding more than just matters of finances and inheritance. You are guiding future health decisions, providing for loved ones, and creating your legacy. As young people, now is the time for us to safeguard our future. And as older folks, now is the time for you to safeguard your legacy. As the good book says, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. You cannot afford to fail the next generation after you. So if you are old, I think now is the time to start thinking about your legacy plans. If you're a young person, now is the time for you to start safeguarding your future and putting structures in place so you can fulfill what the Bible is saying. You can be a good man. And a good man refers to male and female. That's the Bible definition of a man, male and female. So the movement, the CFLE Africa and Financial Awareness Foundation mission are designed to significantly improve financial awareness and financial literacy. And we are doing this by, one, serving as a catalyst for many needed improvements, gender equality and sustainability. We are touching and empowering more people with financial awareness and financial literacy and other important life skills so they can have a better life for themselves and their loved ones. So in April, we went to most of the tertiary institutions. We have a package that we call Rethinking Personal Financial Planning and Relevant Life Skills for Successful Living. So we take the student through a comprehensive personal financial plan, and they come out with their personal financial plan. And then we invite an estate attorney to guide them write their first will. Aside that, we also give them other relevant life skills: collaboration, problem solving, creativity. This is what we need to build a better future for ourselves and the people around us. We are building, strengthening, and stabilizing local, regional, national, and international economies with new higher paying ecological friendly jobs. So we help young people develop their business plans and guide them to see it through. We are generating new business for financial service advisors and product providers. So mostly I tell most of the financial institutions that what CFLE is doing, we are not doing it for ourselves, we are doing it for you. Because if we have financially aware and financially literate individuals, they will do more businesses with financial institutions. And so this platform or the movement serves as a platform for financial advisors and financial product providers to get more customers. We are helping to end hunger and inherited poverty for all, and so much more. And so if you are actively involved in the movement, we want to say thank you very much, and please continue with your great work. If not, join in and support us to touch a lot more people. Everyone and the world actually benefit from a stronger financial economy. To conclude, let me quote Mr. Bill Gates. Mr. Bill Gates says that if you are born poor, it is not your mistake. But if you die poor, it is your mistake. If you are born poor, it is not your mistake. But if you die poor, it is your mistake. So right from here, I want you to make a groundbreaking decision to yourself. Though your background may not be good, your family background, you are not coming from wealth, but make sure you create wealth so that the generation after you will benefit from what you were able to create it. So make a groundbreaking decision to make good use of all the information available. Madam Doris has shared with us some great information, and our panelists are going to share with us a lot of information. Make sure you make good use of this information, everything that will be shared here, and go make a lasting impact. A lasting impact is an impact that will change your own life and the life of those around you. Let's end inherited poverty for all Ghanaians, all Africans, and for everyone around the world. God bless you. God bless Ghana, and happy Estate and Gate Planning Awareness Month. Thank you.
Thank you. Put your hands together for him. You can do it better before he descends. Thank you. It's been amazing thus far. We've had awesome speeches, remarks, and also presentations. And we're moving on to the next item, which is a panel discussion. That is a very, very important one where we're going to understand the details of the issue while we're here, ask the strong questions, and also get the very bold answers. Let me just do this wonderful acknowledgement of one special guest here as well, the person of Ato Olsen Apia. He is with Ghana Think. Put your hands together for him, please. Ghana Think is a civil society organization in Ghana. And we'll move on. Before we move on to the panel discussion, I want us all to watch the milestone, how far the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa has come with their National Estate and Gift Planning Awareness programs. Far back, and we'll need the video to play right from the beginning with the sound for us all to appreciate the impact that has been made thus far. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you sure? Let's enjoy.
Gift of personal finance knowledge by celebrating estate and gift planning awareness month.
The improving financial awareness and financial literacy movement in Ghana, in our quest to create public awareness, have created 2 campaign months. So in April we do financial literacy month, and in October we do estate and gift planning awareness month.
The movement in Ghana is an initiative led by the Center for Financial Literacy Education
millions
Africa.
of people, and even billions of people. That's the quote from the Executive Director of the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa, Mr. Peter Kwejo Asarinyako.
I will start by saying a giving life is a great life. So the act of giving is a great way you can touch and impact thousands of people, millions of people, and even billions of people.
After touching 2.5 million plus Ghanaians in April during the Financial Literacy Month campaign, the Improving Financial Awareness and Financial Literacy Movement in Ghana embarked on their second semi-annual campaign to the community, the Gift of Personal Finance Knowledge, by celebrating estate and gift planning awareness month.
The Improving Financial Awareness and Financial Literacy Movement in Ghana, in our quest to create public awareness, have created 2 campaign months. So in April we do financial literacy month, and in October we do estate and gift planning awareness month.
The movement in Ghana is an initiative led by the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa, CFLE Africa, and the Financial Awareness Foundation, TFAF, of which Peter is the lead ambassador in Ghana and Africa. The Center for Financial Literacy Education is a non-profit social organization that develops and promotes financial literacy skills in Africans, especially the youth. They are building an Africa in which all people are financially aware and financially literate, so they will make better informed lifelong financial decisions, giving them the highest probability to reach and maintain family dreams while living out a financially successful life. The Financial Awareness Foundation is a USA-based 501c3 non-profit organization working closely with the Center for Financial Literacy Education Africa, the International Improving Financial Awareness and Financial Association at the University of Ghana, and a growing team of thought-leading strategic partners to significantly improve financial awareness and literacy in Ghana, across Africa, and around the world.
Congratulations, Ghana, on your leadership and successful advancements with the Improving Financial Awareness and Literacy movement. What a great and powerful celebration of October as Gift and Estate Planning Awareness Month, and for advancing and improving financial awareness and financial literacy.
As a gift to our community and a key element of the movement, there is a personal finance communication media blitz every 6 months. Each year, October is celebrated as Estate and Gift Planning Awareness Month. The goal is to touch every Ghanaian with the essential principles of estate and gift planning, which is an important element of everyone's overall financial planning process.
Is your financial house up to date and in order? During this campaign month, a dedicated team of high-quality thought leaders, financial service professionals, educators, organizations, volunteers, and strategic partners embarked on a nationwide personal finance media blitz to alert, motivate, educate, and empower Ghanaians on how they can get and keep their financial houses in order by having a current financial estate and gift plan. October 2022 was the fourth strategic campaign month since the movement was officially launched in Ghana in March 2021. Estate and Gift Planning Awareness Month was launched with an informative press conference in Ghana's capital Accra, hosted by the Chartered Institute of Bankers on the 3rd of April. Overall, the event was well attended with 13 media outlets in attendance. Speakers at the press conference were Senior Lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Department of Finance, and the Coordinator for the FA Association at the University of Ghana, Dr. Benjamin Amon.
Thank you, Peter, the lead ambassador
for the impact thus far. You can attest it's been amazing. Now it's the business of the day. The moments where we discuss the tough issues, the very tough ones, right? When it comes to financial management and then gifting. Yes. And today, this moment we're looking at estate trust and retirement planning for families. A conscious effort or a game of chance. All right? It wasn't my fault. I was born in a poor family and all that. Yeah. What is the way forward? That's what we're here for, right? And joining me to discuss this issue to the latter, let me start with the very first one. Let's welcome with a strong round of applause Mr. Kennedy Wiafe Efa Esquire to make his way up here for us. Joining him is our very own Madam Ajoa Mensima Kwento Esquire. So we'll make our way right up there. Also is Mr. Isaka Ibrahim, sir. Join us up here as well. So for gender balance, we can do one man, one woman, one man, one woman. Yes. Then we'll have the last one. The last to join us is Madam Mimi Anane Apia, Investor Education Lead, Access Pensions. Yeah, she loves the applause. If you don't clap, she will not come. You have to intensify the applause, make it escalating, please. Come on, it's Mimi, all right? Put your hands together for her. Yes. Before she sits down, let's do it for you, okay? Come on. Yes. And because you're all very, very, very delighted to be here, and you can't wait to hear what's going to happen, just as it happens in the court, all right? So we have someone in the witness box. We have someone to also do the cross-examination. I am here as your one and only advocate to also examine the issues. So I stand here to represent you, my nice people, and I ask these very strong questions for you to get the answers. And if you live here, you know what you're about. Let me start by welcoming you all nice people. Tell me, or tell us, how do you feel about this very discussion about estate trust retirement planning for families, a conscious effort or game of chance? Let's hear just brief comments from you on how you feel about this.
Thank you, MC. I think that this is the way to go to end poverty and to also ensure that the toil that we make in the course of work and all that actually is passed on properly to those we wish to have it. So that it is not, you don't work, you don't toil, and then at the end of the day, someone not deserving takes over. So I think this is very crucial, this is very important, and it's good we are all here.
Splendid.
Yeah.
Splendid. No monkey baboon story. Yes, Ms. Wa.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I recollect you saying brief comments, right? So yes, I'll keep it as brief,
sure,
as possible. So the question was whether we think it's a conscious effort or it's a game of chance. I think that it depends on you
you will either decide whether it's a game of chance or it's a conscious effort. But then again, I would ask, why would you want somebody else to determine or decide where your hard-earned income or property should go when you have the chance to do that yourself? So I think the way forward, like my learned colleague has said, is to ensure that things happen the way you desire and the way you want it. So largely, I would say that it should be a conscious effort rather than simply a game of chance. Okay.
All right. Say, Saka, tell us something.
Thank you very much. So from where I sit, I mean, when I sat down, the first thing I looked at was the goal on the, the flyer.
Yes.
And when I saw that this institute is trying to touch the lives of 30 million Ghanaians, it just took my mind that then this is not a joke. This means Peter means business, So as we sit here, we need to do whatever we can to support this movement. And I'm happy to be here today, and kudos to the organization for organizing this particular important event. Yeah, thank you.
Splendid. Mimi.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
For me, I think estate planning is something you intentionally do and very essential. And I'm grateful to Peter and the team for doing this over and over again. I remember listening to this a few years ago, and then last year as well. So I got my parents to write their will because of that reminder. So I believe this program is very important. And I hope from here we also
can make it laugh for her, Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yes.
That's pragmatic, right? Yeah.
We also encourage our family members and those around us to do that, to avoid drama when we pass on.
Great. So, are you ready, guys? Are you ready? Then put your hands together because we're about to start on full force. So, let's start with Mr. Ifa. Sir, acquiring wealth in this country or in this part of the world is very difficult. Africa has different terrains built for Africa. We're all built for Africa. You know why? Because it's only us who can survive this terrain. And having been in this condition and you get sick, acquired wealth and you are sick, and you don't have any power of attorney in place, what are the consequences in this dire situation? Having made money and then you are sick and you don't have any power of attorney in place, who is then to manage your finances? You can be just having a stroke. You can't talk, you can't move. What happens to your estate and your wealth?
Let's basically, we need to appreciate the component of the estate. And what happens really depends on the aspect of the estate you are dealing with. So when you talk of your personal estate, you are looking at, you begin with landed properties, houses, commercial stores and land. Then you come to things like monies at the bank. You look at investments you've made in shares in companies, either those being traded on a stock exchange or in private companies. You are also looking at your personal stuff in the home. You're looking at cars. You are looking at, some people buy guns and things. So these are the things usually you will find forming your estate. Now, you are sick. You don't have power of attorney.
Yes.
What happens to you? For instance, I think the ones that you will need immediate attention will be, for instance, dealing with your bankers and things like that. If you do not want to have the power of attorney or you haven't, you can actually go to the bank with somebody you trust and ask that that person be made a second signatory to your account, so that that person can also give instructions, authorize instructions on the account. That can be one. But then the ultimate or the best is to quickly, you don't have it, so quickly put together a power of attorney so that the person can operate the account on your behalf.
You know, the one clarity, when we say power of attorney, what actually are we talking about here?
Power of attorney simply means you donating your power or as to what you can do in relation to something.
Okay.
You can make it general that, look, everything that I can do, I give this person the power to do it for me. And it's governed by the Power of Attorney Act. There's a law that governs it. So you do that. You state what you want the person to do, and then you sign and have somebody witness it. Yes.
Okay.
So basically, that's the power of attorney. So you saying that I'm in this condition, and as a result, I donate my power to this person to act for me. You can make it limited, you can leave it. You can say that this person should do so for 1 year, and at the end of it, or you can just leave it open until such a time that you die. The moment the one who donated the power dies, the power of attorney also comes to an end. Yes. So you can do that. The best is just to have the power of attorney. If you cannot do that, then introduce somebody to the bank, have that person as a second signatory, so that at least you can be buying your medication and things like that.
So,
Yes.
so the condition we were trying to set was that in the situation whereby the person hasn't got a power of attorney, who is in charge to manage the healthcare and his businesses and all that? Is there any remedy in that situation if there isn't any like a power of attorney in this setting at all?
In the absence of a power of attorney at all, you don't have one. So the one on the banks I've just explained. But the rest of your properties, it becomes very difficult. Because you are alive, you can give instructions even in your sick state. But it becomes very difficult because you can have, especially where a situation where you have very strong family members, you have children with different women, and they are all old and all that. So there's strong competition in fighting in the family. It becomes very difficult. It becomes very difficult. So I don't see any remedy except you giving instructions on your sick bed, and as whether those instructions will be followed is another thing. It's another thing.
Interesting. All right then. Then we will now go to Mesima. Mesima, if someone dies with no will, because you know nowadays we want to buy skyscrapers, own vehicles, big lands before we will them. Yes, we don't will shirts and shoes. I mean, we want things of huge value, gigantic, immovable properties. If someone dies and hasn't done any of these, like no will at all, what happens behind him or her?
Okay, thank you. So let me backtrack a bit before I get to the wills. So legally, when we talk about estate planning, it involves leaving the things that you have to the people that you want to leave it to, and then giving instructions on who should deal with it as you would like them to deal with it.
Yes.
And when it comes to estate planning, we have certain tools, legal tools that you can use. It includes a will, trust, we have living wills, power of attorney, power of appointment, all those things. Now, one of the things, as I said, is a will that gives clear instructions made by a person of sound mind, full age, on how they want their properties to be disposed of. If you die without a will, that means that now you have no power to decide, unfortunately, and the state will decide for you. And so we describe it as dying interstate. You're a person who died interstate, and the law that governs that is the Interstate Succession Law, 1985. That's the PNDC Law 111. Will decide how your properties should be shared. So these properties will go to your spouse, your children, your siblings, your parents, in the proportions that the law has laid out for you. So this is what will happen. There are extended circumstances where somebody who is not under the law directly entitled to anything in your property, but they can come and then make an application to be provided for from your estate, where they can show that they were dependent and they're in a position where they can't take care of themselves and they still need help. So that could be an option that's open to somebody who is outside of the provisions made by the law. So generally, that's what happens when you die interstate.
I hope you all noted down the act, the provisional act, right? The PNLC law 111, right? Yeah. Good. Let me ask this. What is so inconvenient about this law that a will should be the ideal act to prevent this inconvenience? What is wrong with the PNLC law 111?
Okay, first of all, I want to say there's nothing intrinsically wrong with it. I mean, it's a good option, or it's a good alternative to not making a will. However, we know that, as Madam Doris said, it's unfortunate she's not here, that anything you want and desire is specific to you. There are no two estate planning or estate plans that are the same. So somebody will say that, okay, I want this to go to my parents or my children or my siblings or my spouse. Somebody else might think that, no, I don't want it to go to them for different reasons. It might not even be spiteful, but it might be that they may think that they don't need it. Or it might be that they've already made provision whilst they were living for all these people, and what is in their will should go elsewhere. So I think that will be the inconvenience. It might happen that where you want your properties to go to will not go there because the law will have to decide for you. And so when you make your own will, you get the opportunity to decide how you want your estate to be distributed. Maybe you want it to go to charity. Maybe you want it to go to your church. Maybe there are people you were taking care of whilst you are alive, and you want these people to be perpetually taken care of. Maybe you've already made provisions out of your estate for these people who will benefit again from your estate under the law. So all these things are a part of it. So it's just more convenient to make your own will.
So there is a connection between your will and thy will. Okay, so either it's your will be done or thy will be done. Choose your choice.
Yeah, so in this case, it's your will that will be done. So.
Absolutely. All right. So let's go to Mr. Ibrahim. You know, share with us one interesting case of where someone refused to actually put a will up, and then what was the experience afterwards? And then it comes to maybe about a retirement malfunction. Someone failed to plan properly towards retirement, and what is the aftermath? Let's hear from you, Ibrahim.
Thank you very much. Hello?
It's fine.
It's working.
It's working.
So I just want to do this exercise, right? How many of us have like a bank account, an investment account, an insurance policy, or any other policies? Maybe you can raise your hand if you have a bank account, an investment policy, an insurance policy. No, any of them. Any of them. How many of us have? And how many of us remember who the beneficiaries or our next of kin or who we have entrusted that when we are not alive, they should benefit from that? How many of us still remember? Oh, and that's good. Because we have a number of cases where people have, you know, as young as we are, open a bank account or an investment account or a retirement account. And then as we grow, we forget to either amend it or change it. So we have pure cases where, you know, as young as we are, we finish university, we fall in love, you know. We even take our partners along to open the account. And because we want to show them that we love them, you know, I'm writing your name, see, and we write their name there, you know. And then after 5 years, there's a breakfast served, you know. And then they move on, go on to marry. And they still forget. And then they pass away, and the wives and the children come to now demand the monies. And you go in there and you realize that there's a certain Akosia Manson's name there. And it becomes a clear problem. And these cases are real. I mean, in as much as it may seem funny, it is a very real case of instances where we just forget to update our beneficiaries. And so as young as we are growing, we should make a conscious effort that at every point in time, if there's a change in our beneficiaries or our estate, we go to the banks, we go to the insurance companies, we go to the pension trusts to actually amend the beneficiary so that when you are not alive, because that's the only ticket we can pay the monies to the people. Otherwise, it becomes a challenge, and maybe that's where the services of the legal people comes in. We have a clear case where people have nominated their parent, for instance, right? And by the time they pass away, their parents have already passed away. You know, so it becomes a challenge to now involve a legal person to look at either the PNDC Law 111 or the amended 264 or any of the Real Act or anything to now go in there and prove who the money should be paid to. So it's a problem within the industry. And when you get platforms like this, we always encourage you to ensure that you are nominating a beneficiary or the ones you update them as and when you want to do. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And critically, on that area of when you're filling these forms, a young person is approached by this insurance company on campus, they are enthused. I'm opening an insurance account, yeah. And then your mother date of birth, my mother was born in July, let me fix something there. Because the insurance agent wants to book you up quickly and then cash their sales up. So these kids will just put something there because the form has to be filled. Then one day, the same beneficiary who is the mother passed away, and then we have to go and we have to claim, right? The mother's voter ID card says May. She filled July. It's like, I regret ever getting an insurance. And that's the very moment people begin to curse insurance companies that you are very wicked. You wanted me to feel like this. What is the advice when you are approached by these insurance agents? What should we be very critical of at this moment?
Thank you. So, yes, we've all been approached by insurance companies before, and they will say all the sweet words, okay? Let's just be a bit more conscious about the policies we buy and what it is tied to. So, for instance, if you are buying a funeral policy, for instance, it is tied to the age of the beneficiary or the parent, right? So if you said your mother was born, say, in 1950, by now she should be about, 73 years. Automatically, she doesn't qualify. But because most of us also want to ensure that our parents are put on the policy, we will fix it a date like 1970, right? So when the parents pass, now we are investigating, and now we have to go through all the processes. But of course, when it gets to the claim payment, the insurance company has the decision to make, whether to void the claim or make some exemptions as, okay, I should have paid you like a 50,000, but because of this misrepresentation, I can pay you like a 30,000. So at that point, that's where the insurance company will show their commitment to the client, whether to void the claim totally or to ensure that, yes, you've paid some premiums, but I have to refund some amount because of this misrepresentation. So as customers, as clients, let's be extra vigilant. Let's be honest when we are completing the forms, because at the point of claim, all these issues will come up for us to defend.
Great. And let's go to Mimi. Mimi, I know you may have experienced one or two unfortunate instances where people who have worked for so many years, if you hear from them, they've worked so hard, yet there's nothing to go home with. If you look at their home life after retirement, you're like, this is it's sad. Share with us some of these very uncomfortable cases where you saw that if these were done properly, I think you should have been living a better life after post-retirement. Share with us.
Okay, so before I share something, I've heard of stories of even bank directors go on retirement and retire poor. Why? Because at the time they were working, they had maybe a driver, a car, all sorts of things in the form of allowances, given to them, maybe a very low basic salary, but because they had all these nice, things, they were okay. But as soon as you retire, all those things are stripped off, and your pensions is paid on your basic salary. So if the basic salary was bad, it's going to be bad. And remember, this is someone who has had this lifestyle, having to reduce it. That comes with some psychological trauma.
Yes.
So it's very essential that we plan for our retirement, and like was said, it's personal because you know the kind of life you want to have. Now, I remember earlier when Madam Doris was here, there was someone asked a question about business people. And it's true, a lot of business people don't do anything because, I mean, everyone is positive when it comes to business. You should speak to an entrepreneur, you would find out that they are the most optimistic, people. But life happens to everyone. And so I know of this situation where, this person didn't do any SNET, nothing, and times went hard. And this is a person that had diversified income streams, so not one business, but a couple of
Excuse
them.
me, can you please swap mics with Ibrahim just for the to keep the inconvenience? Sure. Yeah.
A couple of them. Times went hard, and even paying for electricity and the basic needs became tough. By the grace of God, business has picked up after a while, and so the person is fine now. But imagine that didn't happen. And that's one of the reasons why you see people retire, and within 3-4 years, they are gone. Retirement is expensive. Don't let anyone lie to you. Why? Because at that point, you would have to spend a bit more on health care. The doctors may say, don't eat meat, don't eat this, don't eat that. It's not cheap. It is not cheap. At a point, my dad was spending 5,000 on groceries just because of health. So it's not cheap. So let's not assume that, when I go into retirement, I'm not going to be going to work, wearing my nice shoes. There are other expenses that come up, and you need to be ready for that.
Mimi, this is a heartfelt one. You and I, or we can all appreciate the employment status within our country. It is tough for you to get a job in the public sector. It is even more competitive to be in the private sector. To be a sole proprietor, that is a whole ballgame because you need enough capital to stand these strenuous economic situations. When would these young people get jobs, and when would their employers say you are now fit for SNIT or whatever pension payments? When will you start accumulating enough? The last time SNIT board was saying that if you retire and you see less returns, don't complain. How many years have you worked, and how much was contributed on your behalf? Is there a remedy to curb this long-awaited short money after retirement? Is there a way to start paying something for pensions whilst I'm unemployed or something? How can we fix some very good package for this for us upon retirement? Yeah.
Okay. So there's this illusion that one day you get money and you'll be able to pay all these things. It's not true. I've been working for 10 years, and I don't remember a moment where I felt, I've arrived. I have a lot of money.
Too much money. You never saw that. Hey.
Yes, too much. That doesn't happen. So I remember when I got my job at Access, which was my first actual job, I just decided that the savings habit is important. So the income wasn't good at that point, but I still put something down regularly. And that really helped build the habit so that when things improved, because the thing is that as your income level increases, your responsibilities would have gone up, And so there's the likelihood that if you are just following enough, you will never do anything. For those of us who probably don't have jobs, a lot of people in Ghana, when they say they are unemployed, because I did it myself, when I said I was unemployed, I wasn't unemployed. I wasn't in what I wanted. So maybe you don't have a job, but you are selling shoes and you are making money. You need to start doing something for yourself. And I remember we spoke about personal pension, the micro pensions. These were introduced. The law has been, the new act covers everyone, every worker. There's no longer any excuse that, I don't work under a company, so I couldn't do that. Even under the old law, you could still do something with SNIT. You can do a personal pension, depending on the institution that you want to do it with, in Access, as low as 100 Ghana cedis. This is something that most of us use for data, to just, insult people online, laugh a bit, and all that, and it's gone. But this is for your future. So putting that down on a monthly basis can make a big difference. Look, I've seen people, so where I sit, I work with retirees, so those who have retired.
Yeah.
And I've seen how it makes a difference just having a tier 3, having the SNIT, having the tier 2, having a tier 3, how it can make a difference. There are people that can earn as high as maybe 13,000 just from the extras, not SNIT. So if you are earning all those, if you've been deliberate about your retirement, you've put in place, and for retirement planning, I think insurance is important, investment is important, because nobody knows what is coming, you know. If you put in place all the plans, it's very likely that you're going to have a comfortable retirement. So I would encourage all of us, no matter where you are, the shoes you are selling, put something aside, pay yourself, and put something aside in your retirement plan. As things get better, you improve the effort you put in.
You would have to put your hands together for them all. It's a very nice round one. Round one. And we're going to round 2 of questioning. So we come back to the main issue. Why is it then so important for every single person in here to have interest in estate and gift planning? Why is this a panacea to securing a good future for our families and also our future? Mr. Ifa.
Thank you. Let me begin with
I think a mic swap will do. Just to cap this. Thank you.
Let me begin with a story, an incident I handled. This gentleman at KNUST, the dad has passed on. The mom was the one financing the school fees. Mm-hmm. The mom unfortunately also died. Now, somebody, a relative, had taken up letters of administration to administer the mother's estate, and it included some money at the bank. I think at the time the sum was about 40,000 cedis, and the gentleman needed about 4,000 to pay his school fees, and it wasn't coming. The executor wrote to the bank to have access to the money. But then the bank's position was that, you know, the administrator took the letters of administration with the father of the gentleman, and the father had died after the letters of administration. Mm-hmm. And so the bank wanted the surviving administrator to go back to the court and get a replacement before they will give them access to the money. So I wrote a letter to the bank that is not how it works. There are 2 administrators. If one passed on, the surviving one should be able to operate. Mm-hmm. And so they should give them access to the account. They quickly called them in and made the gentleman sign a signatory to the account and everything. He got the money to pay his school. He was in his final year. Got the money to pay the school fees and was able to access the rest of the funds. Sure. Now, he went through all this wahala until he met me, and we were able to, you know, straighten up things.
Yes.
So if the mother had made a will before passing on, you see, or the mother had said that, look, you are of age, you are schooling, I'm aging, let me make you a signatory to my bank account so that when I'm not around, you can operate it. All this would not have happened. You see, so I'm using this to illustrate the point that estate planning is very critical, because if the gentleman had not had help, he would probably have dropped out of school at the final year after doing 3 years already. Mm-hmm. We don't know what he will have become. If he should become an armed robber, you and I will be at his mercy. So estate planning is very critical. It is just very critical. You need to make sure that in your absence, your dependents are catered for. There's something to keep them going. That is what I would say.
Let me just do a follow-up. Would you attest that the African setting, we haven't seen much of development and progress within a community, those within those very lower level income people, we find them struggling a lot. Do you think the deficiency of this knowledge has been the cause of all these multitudes of poverty and violence in these areas, because we seem not to have a way to transcend wealth from who made it to the rightful people who should own it, and it's being distractingly shared across people who don't deserve to bear it? Is this the cause of our poverty within Africa? Would you say this has been one of the causes?
I think it's partly so. The other part is that we have a very strong cultural base. Maybe the millennia may be shifting from that position, but we have a very strong cultural base. And we are making state laws to superimpose on this cultural structure. And so you have situations where the law says that, I mean, when a man dies and didn't make a will, but had just one house, that house should go to the surviving spouse and the children. And you have an Obusuapani who also comes in and says that we sold our cocoa farm to educate him, and he became what he is. And that house he built is for the family. You see, so we are making national laws and superimposing them on a very strong cultural belief system without much education. So what we are doing here is very important, very, very important, that we have a lot of education. We let people know that these are the laws when it comes to, you know, we are still struggling with spousal property distribution simply because the culture is this way and the national law is this way. And we are not making effort to bridge the gap through education. So what is happening here is good. We need to keep it up. We need to get it even to, especially the National House of Chiefs, for them to appreciate the new changes that the national laws are making to the culture, so that it will help. So yes, lack of education, but then also the strong cultural system we have is very strong. I'm telling you, when you may be living in Accra, you think that, oh, we don't have anything. The day your father dies, that's when you know that we have culture. The family head will come with a host of family members from the village and tell you that we need the body because it's for us. And you also don't understand. It's my dad. You get it. And then you are speaking, you know, nice English. And at the end of the day, they tell you that, oh yeah, this year we need the body right now. Give it to us. So we have a very strong cultural system that we ignore whilst we are making our national laws. And we need to bridge the gap through education and programs like this.
Absolutely. You know, it gives me a new topic to research on, law and tradition. We'll look at that. Messima, now you talked about the power attorney. I think Mr. Ifa said that. But now we have to understand some very critical legal documents, the power of attorney, the will, and the trust. Help us appreciate the essence of these three and why they should be part of us in any way, these three. Why?
Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. So, like I said initially, when it comes to estate planning, we have tools that help us to plan our estates efficiently. One of them is the will.
Yeah.
We have the trusts. Sometimes we have, you could have the power of attorney. We have what is called living wills or living trusts. That can also be used. As I mentioned earlier, the will dispose of your properties as you wish, and then can have instructions on who should deal with it and how it should be dealt with. The thing about the will is that it can only take effect after your death, not before. So it only have effect after you have died, and that's the only time that the properties can be distributed and the wishes in it can be followed. Then we have the trust. The trust is essentially you appointing somebody to deal with your properties or some of your property. It doesn't have to be all of it. It could be a particular one. It could be a group of properties. You give it to a particular person and give them instructions on how they should deal with it. What I'd like to say here is that, as the name goes, it should be somebody that you really trust, whether it's a legal practitioner or somebody outside the legal practice. It should be somebody that you really trust, because essentially you are giving the properties to them that they will hold in trust. So on the surface of it, it might look like they are the ones who own the property or they are the ones who have the property, but behind that is you giving instructions, specific instructions on how you want it to be dealt with. When it comes to a trust, it doesn't necessarily have to take effect from the time that you pass away. It can, but it can also be in effect whilst you are still alive, and it can also be in effect for years, decades after you have gone, because certain trusts will give instructions such that it has to take care of your children and your children's children. So there can be a property, for example, that you give to someone to maybe rent out, and the instruction is that every year or every 6 months or whichever time stipulation you give, the money should be paid to maybe your children, or should go into like an educational fund for your children or your children's children, or whatever it is that you desire. And when it comes to the power of attorney, like my colleague said, it is a document that is giving power. You are giving your power or part of your power to somebody to act in different capacities for you, or a specific capacity for you. Let me talk a little about living wills or living trusts. So for example, you asked about, okay, you are sick now, and then you have to make decisions, or you are incapacitated, or you are disabled at some point. I think that some people can foresee, depending on what the situation is. Maybe you have a particular ailment, and you know that at a particular time you will not be able to do specific things. Maybe you will lose ability to maybe use your own hands to sign, or you can't move around as much and all of that. You can give specific instructions in a document. You can use the power of attorney to give instructions that maybe when it gets to this time, this is what I want. Concerning my health care, I want money taken from a particular account, or I don't want money taken from here, or at this point, I don't want, it could be anything depending on what you desire. So if you can foresee that, you can write that. Even if you don't foresee it, like my sister said, life happens to all of us, so sometimes you can't really tell. So you can have these instructions set down that in the event of maybe illness, when I'm incapacitated, I have a disability, I suffer from a particular disease, this is what I want, and this is the person I want to handle that. Maybe there's a particular time that you can't take care of your dependents as much as you would like to. You can put it in the document and say that, you know, I want this particular person to take care of them, or your parents, or whatever it is. So these are all extensions of estate planning, not just the will. You can have the trust, you can have the living wills, you can have the power of attorney, so that you can deal with your estate planning. It's generally putting your desires on paper, the way you want it, what you have, what you own. Some people say, okay, I don't have a big estate, so I don't want to do a will, or I don't want to have a trust, but that really doesn't matter. Even if you have one car, you have a small amount of money, whatever it is that you have, or you have other wishes, other desires. People have ways that they want to be buried when they are gone. Like my learned colleague was saying, people are going to come from the village and going to say that the body is ours, give it to us. But you can have a document that states that when I die, this is how. Some people want to just be cremated. Some people want their bodies to be buried in Accra. Others want it in their hometown. So to avoid all the drama, the back and forth, whether you are alive or whether you are gone, you can put the wishes on paper, make it very clear. This is what I want. This is how I want it. This is the person I want to handle it. And then that can be done in the way that you desire. So there's no contention.
Wonderful. This is where I ask the very uncomfortable questions, okay? At what point must one intend to will something? Mr. Ifa mentioned that mostly wills are centered around immovable properties. However, we have some petty movable things like watches, shoes. These are petty, but they are valuable, as somebody's hard-earned property in here. And is it really relevant to will these things? I mean, who wills shoes and shirts? But what's relevant to be willed by a young man? Should they wait till they clock the chance to own lands and buildings? And how do they go about them? I think a pragmatic look will do. How can we engage anyone who's involved to help us with a will, and what must we will, at what quantity and value?
Okay, so when it comes to wills, it's essentially your estate. And your estate is everything that you own, which is movable and immovable. Everything that you own is part of your estate. And I think you asked several questions all in one, so let me try and take them differently. When do you need to make a will?
Yes.
Okay, so for a will to be valid, you have to be of full age. What is full age? 18 and above. So from the age of 18, in fact, you can start making your will. And what you need to understand is, okay, you're saying, oh, now I don't have much. Maybe I just have a little. I have, like you said, one watch, maybe one suit, one shoe. The thing with wills is that you can constantly amend them. You can constantly, so as you go along, as you acquire more properties, you can keep adding it, keep deciding what goes to who. But it's important. You see, it's more of building the culture or the habit of knowing that if I'm not around, this is how what I have will be disposed of. It's not so much what you have or the extent or the size of what you have, but just the culture and the habit of it, setting clear boundaries that, I may have just this amount. You see, you may be a young, you say, oh, I don't have much. Maybe you have 2,000 cedis. And you say, oh, it's not much. I mean, why should I will this? But that 2,000 cedis can save somebody that you wanted to save, a dependent, somebody who needs that money. So essentially, it's about building the culture, building the habit of doing it. So as young as 18, you can make your will. Pragmatically, it is prudent. It is prudent to involve a legal practitioner in making the will, because the will is governed. Making the will the right way is governed by statutes of the nation, things that make it valid. Because you can't just make a will; it has to follow certain procedure. You have to make sure that it's signed in the presence of witnesses who see that you are signing it and all of that. So there are processes and steps to take. So it's pragmatic and it's efficient that you will do it with a legal practitioner. So everything that you have, you can will it. Yeah.
Is it possible to will something you don't own? For example, my mother's car, I want to will it, I know that when she passed away, I'll own the car.
Yes.
Can I will my father's car?
Absolutely not. You can only will things that you own. So you can't will things that belong to the family. So if, for example, if you're a custodian, you can't will something. If somebody puts you as a trustee for their property, you can't will what they've given you because it's not yours. So you can only will the things that you own as an individual. Yes.
And what does it cost for one to own a will? That is one thing that I think you all want to know, right? You want to know, right? How much does it cost to have a will? Is there a charge to it? Has it got a price tag?
To have your will done for you?
Yes.
Unfortunately, I can't help you with that. Maybe we can ask my learned friend. I'm sure he does.
Oh, okay.
I work in the public sector, so I don't often do that.
All right.
Let me chip in this. If you want to make your will at home, you can do that. It's advisable to get legal help, but you can also do it at home. All that you do is to list your personal properties, what belongs to you.
if you are your church treasurer and their money is with you, it's not part of your
He's a treasurer.
The things you can will. So you leave those ones out. Take your own personal properties, your mobile phone, your laptop. If you have a car, you bought some land somewhere. If no land, don't worry. You bought shares when one of the companies was floated and all that. So you list those ones carefully. And then you take a decision. This one, who do I want to give it to? The shares I bought, who do I want to give it to? So you state. And please give clear identification of items and people so that there's no ambiguity. You don't say, I give my laptop, a Dell laptop to my senior brother. Meanwhile, you have 3 or 4 senior brothers. So just be specific. My senior brother called Michael or something like that. So once you've done all these things, then you get 2 witnesses after you have signed. And when you are making a will, you cannot write anything after your signature. The moment you are done and you sign, anything appearing below your signature is invalid. So make sure you've listed everything, you sign it, and you must sign it in the presence of 2 witnesses who must also witness it in your presence. And then you have a will. Now, every will must be deposited at the High Court. So once you've done that, you make about 4 copies. And you write that this is your will. This is the will of Madame, Mrs. So and so and so, who lives in this house or at this place. Once you've written that on the envelope, you get, on each envelope, normally we do 4 copies. On each envelope, you must have your passport size picture fixed to it. And then you take it to the High Court. The High Court will do what we call sealing of the envelope so that anytime it is open, we can tell. So they will seal it. The sealing of the 4 will cost you about 200 Ghana cedis. The sealing of the 4 envelopes. And the official charge for depositing it with the High Court is 50 cedis. So if you are doing your calculations, 4 passport pictures, the 4 A4 or A3, A2 envelopes you use, the sealing of the will, about 200 cedis plus 250. So you see that it's not even up to 500 Ghana cedis. That is if you are doing it yourself at home. And when you want a lawyer to do it for you, then the only addition is the lawyer's fees. And that one, you see me in chambers.
You know what? Someone will say, oh, then we can will something.
But I mean, if you have a lawyer friend who is willing to do it for you for free, I mean, the person can do it. Yes. Normally, the lawyer's fees depend on the extent of the estate. Definitely, if you invite me to do your will, and we have 10 houses in the estate, you have 14, luxury cars and all that, definitely, I must benefit.
Put your hands together for him. So that's candid.
The lawyer's fees normally depend on the extent of the estate. Other than that, if you are doing it yourself, then the cost is less than 500 cedis. Yes.
Great. Let me just give, Mensima has one last question before I move to Ibrahim and then Mimi. Mensima, I have done the will already. And then I willed everything to my brother. But I realized that he's becoming very stubborn of late. And I have to change that thing before anything happens. Can you be changing your will based on sentiments because this person is doing this and I want to just change? Is it allowed for one to be doing those things?
Absolutely. Amendments are allowed. You can change your will every week. You can change it every month, every year, depending on your sentiments, all of that. In fact, sometimes you can will something to somebody and the person passes away before you. So in that case, you can, change that and then give it to somebody else that you want. So it's your wishes, your desires. So once you decide to make the will, you can make it anyway, anyhow, make any amendments that you do. In fact, I know a man, he said he had left some things to his son. The son did something, I think, embezzled his money. He said he's disowned the son, took him out of the will. After 2 years, the son came to beg, he put him back in the will. So, back and forth, you can do that.
They say children obey your parents in the Lord. It will shock you when they read the will.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Let me add this quickly. There are some people you cannot take out of your will. Your spouse. If the spouse is alive, you can't take the spouse out of your will. Your child, you cannot. And if your parents are alive, you can also take them out of your will. Now, when it is so important that you do so, then you must provide a reason in the will. I did a will for a man. He, like you mentioned, he had disowned one of the sons, and he didn't want him in the will. So he indicated that my son did this to me, and for over 15 years I've disowned him. He's not been my son, so he gets nothing out of my will. So if there, for any reason, I also did a will for a gentleman. He wanted to travel out of the country with the children. And when they did the DNA, it turned out that the last two were not his children. So when he asked me to do the will, he took the wife out. And he asked me to put the reason there that he's done DNA and 2 of the kids are not his children. So he doesn't want to give the wife anything. Yes, you must have a reason. But if you don't, then you cannot take your spouse, your child, or your parent who is alive out of your will. There are certain things you cannot put in your will. For instance, insurance. If you have an insurance policy, it doesn't matter what you state in your will. It is what is with the insurance company that operates and not what is in your will. So you have Smith, you have made a private retirement plan with an insurance company. What is in your will is subject to what you have told the insurance company. So like my sister said, if for several years you don't go and amend the beneficiaries, and in your will you say that I have an insurance policy and I give it to this person, and that person is not known to the insurance policy, what is with the insurance policy or the insurance company prevails over what is in your will. So these are the only things you need to also take note of if you decide to make your will at home.
Yes. Great. Let's go to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, with your background in insurance, what are some of the current activities that you are undertaking? It can be with the CFLE or anything you're doing to ensure that this issue of inherited poverty, we just eradicate it. What are some of the steps you're taking in your own corner as an insurance person?
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. So this is, of course, one of the activities we are engaged in to partner institutions like the Peters Institution to educate the public on financial wellness, financial literacy, because as he rightly said, if the level of education on finance is not there, then a lot more people will make bad decisions on their finances. So first of all, you need to educate the citizens about financial decisions before you even go ahead to, pitch your product or sell your product to them. So we are doing that. In addition to that, we are also bringing about policies that are tailored towards specific markets. So we acknowledge that there may be markets with, high level of income, low level of income. We have the middle class as well. So we are ensuring that we are bringing up products that are tailored specifically towards those segments of the population. Ghana has about 80% informal sector, right? So no matter how formalized you want your organizations to be, you need to also have the conscious that indeed there are about 80% of people who are just selling in Makola or selling at Abosokai or selling cocoa or kose by the roadside, who may not know your formal organization. So if you are bringing up a product, you need to put these people in the context of those things. So we're engaging in a lot more advocacy, a lot more financial education, in addition to that, bringing up products that are tailored towards these specific markets as well. So currently that's something that we are doing.
I'm just doing a lookup for my friends here. Is there something for young students, students who just got to school that they could have secured themselves, anything like that, cooking?
Yeah, thank you. So there's a product we just launched called the Smart Save. So basically the Smart Save will give anyone an opportunity to save any amount they want to save. The minimum is about 50 Ghana cedis, but at the convenience of whenever you want to save. So it's not like a monthly contribution. You can save every day, or you can save every week, or you can save every month. Because we take into cognizance that we are also into retirement, right? Yeah. Because there's an established rule that when you retire, you need about 20 times your income that you are staying on at the moment. So for instance, if you are a student or you are working in an organization and being paid like 2,500 Ghana cedis, yearly will give you about 30,000, right? You need about 20 times that amount to survive in retirement. So it means that when you go on retirement, you need about 600,000 Ghana cedis to survive in every year. So if you don't put financial decisions at the forefront, then you are going to really struggle, as Mimi said, in your retirement. A lot more time. The question has been, how much do I need to save in order that I can retire comfortably? There are a number of questions, when you go for programs like this, people ask, okay, so how much do I need to save? Do I need to save 20 Ghana cedis every day to survive? Do I need to save 30 Ghana cedis to survive? It depends on your lifestyle. But as the good book said, there's nothing new under the sun. So financial analysts, actuarial analysts, economists and bankers have actually propounded a certain rule that if you go by it, at least you should be able to live comfortably in retirement. They call that 50-30-20. That says, for any income you have, ensure that you are separating it into three. 50% into your needs. So what you need, like your rent, like your bills, 50% goes into it, right? 30% goes into your wants. So as young as we are, we want to chill, we want to buy all the nice things we want. So about 30% go into that. And 20% goes into your savings for either your retirement or your savings for yourself. So as young as we are, we should have this conscious rule in our minds that for every income we are earning, we are separating them into three and then apportioning them into how much you go into our needs, how much you go into our wants, and how much you go into our savings. As you age, it also changes because as you age, your needs may be more, your dependents may be more. So it can also convert to about 70-20-10, and then you look at that. But that's more technical. But as young as we are, we need to look at the 50-30-20 rule that says that put 50% into your needs, 30% into your wants, and 20% into your savings. And that will generally guide us into our financial planning decisions.
Great, Ibrahim. Let's go with Mimi. Mimi, as our young friends here, we are approaching retirement. If you are staying under the age of 20, 25, you have a lot of years ahead of you. But how does retirement planning from today become our stepping ground to overcome this inherited poverty we're talking about? How does retirement planning right from these very early ages help us to escape this issue of poverty?
So let me just highlight that in Africa we have what we call black tax, right? So that is where you are expected to take care of, your family.
Yes.
And basically the reason why that exists is because those people don't have financial fallbacks. So as he said, we sold our cocoa farm for you, so you are now our investment. How do we break that cycle? It's for each of us as individuals to take our retirement into our own hands. And not just that, but continue with estate planning. Make sure that we are passing on assets to the next generation. That is how we can break that cycle. I remember a friend of mine moved to the UK to work with Goldman Sachs. And when she joined, she thought, oh, we all came, so we are all the same. The white folks had their parents leave them assets, properties that were generating rent. And we, guess what? We're starting from scratch. So this is very important, especially for our generation. It's going to be tough because we are going to be dealing with black tax. We are still going to be supporting family, supporting children, dealing with ourselves and making sure that we leave enough. But we need to break that cycle. If we want Ghana to become any better, let's forget about the politicians and own our own, life and generations after us. Normally we'll say that as soon as you start working, you should start setting aside something for yourself towards your retirement. And by working, I don't mean an organization must employ you. As soon as you start making some money, start putting something towards your retirement. Why? The younger you are, the better, the more likely you are to retire with a good amount of money. I'm sure we've heard compound interest, but it really, really works. Compound interest really works. There were some managers of some institutions who were doing provident funds then, before this whole new act took effect. So when the new law came, they found a way of keeping that provident fund instead of taking out. Almost all of them, if not all of them, retired as millionaires. And today, some of them are taking as much as 30,000 just from the provident fund alone. So these things are real. The fact that you are always seeing broke retirees doesn't mean they aren't the rich ones. They are there. So as soon as you start working, start putting in place some kind of planning. And I always say that retirement planning is not just about putting money aside. Your career planning affects the kind of retirement you have. There are places that you work, they wouldn't pay one snit for you. It's on you. So all these are questions. A lot of the time we get the offer, we just go straight to the take home is good. And we don't care about the rest. But these things have long-term implications. So you should be interested in, are they paying my SNIT? Are they paying my tier 2? If I have 2 offers, is one giving me a tier 3? Are there additional benefits that would end up supporting me in the long term? All these things are important. Your family planning, as you are giving birth, 5, 10, remember that it's going to have, some implications. So retirement planning is broad. I mean, we talk about the financial aspect a lot of times, but there are other factors that go into ensuring whether you have one or not. Unfortunately, we can't talk about all that, but it's very important that you keep on educating yourself. Now we are in 2023. There are so many resources online. I'm sure if you type Peter's name, you will see a lot. The last time I Googled my name, I've said a lot of things. I'm sure Isaka and everyone else has said. So go online, learn. If you still need information, I'm sure you can easily access any one of us. Information is power. Educate yourself and put in place a plan. And be careful. Sometimes some of us have good intentions, but we end up putting our money in the wrong places, and we'll still end up not retiring well. So choosing the right product, the right things to put your money into is very important as well. So see a financial advisor if you know that is not your forte.
Put your hands together for the next people. It's been wonderful thus far, and you've had it all. I stood here representing you, my client. If there's something I didn't talk about, you can draw my attention. I'll give you the microphone to talk about yourself. Yes, my friend, please come closer to me, okay? I'll grant you a microphone to talk.
Okay, so my question is to Mr. Isaka. He made mention of Smart Save, where you can have some savings as a young person. Is it going to be like the savings accounts where the bank takes something from your account whilst depositing so that in case if I should stop depositing for some time, am I going to go into negatives, or I'll get more interest? I want to get clear information on that.
Depositor.
Thank you. So, not to run into the risk of advertising my company too much, this is also a normal savings, investment, retirement account. So once you save, once you make a deposit, the money is divided into a savings account and a retirement account. In the savings account, of course, you are going to earn some interest, but it's going to be in instruments that are very liquid. If I say liquid, I mean in very short-term instruments like the treasury bill or the money market instruments, so that when you need the money on your savings, you can at least access that. In addition to that, we also have the retirement account. So if you pay 50 cedis, what's going to happen is you're going to have about 150 cedis in a savings account, and then the 250 cedis in a retirement account. Why is this important? We know that immediately you may need funds. You may want to come into your account, but we are also planning for your future for you, or we are helping you plan for the future. That's why we save the rest of the 250 cedis in a retirement account. It's a normal account. You can do a deposit into the account. You can do a direct debit into the account. You can do a Momo transfer into the account. You can pay by cash also into the account. So that's how the policy runs. It's not going to run into the negatives. We don't invest in instruments that put your money in the negative effect. We also ensure that at least at every time, in point in time, the money you put in has some interest. Maybe mention compound interest, for instance. Every month it compounds. So the interest you earn also earn interest. So if you put 200 Ghana cedis, it earns interest of about 20 cedis. The next time your money will earn interest on the 200 Ghana cedis and then the 20 cedis as well. So when you're coming for it, at least you have a stronger bargaining, purchasing power, bargaining power on your money.
Great. So let's put our hands together for ourselves and also the response from Misaka. We would have to watch a video. So my dear, I'll come back to you, okay? We'll have a video per one outline. After the video, we'll pay some remarks and then we'll be drawing towards the end of the program, all right? So the video. It's a short video, okay?
Greetings, Peter, distinguished presenters and guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Valentino Sabuco, Executive Director of the Financial Awareness Foundation. Peter, today we have a special announcement to share with our colleagues and audience.
Yes, Valentino, we do. At this time, it gives us great pleasure to announce our colleagues, associates, strategic partners, TFAF ambassadors, distinguished presenters and guests, ladies and gentlemen, the official launching of the Improving Financial Awareness and Financial Literacy Youth Movement.
Thanks, Peter. This will become a major element of the Improving Financial Awareness and Literacy Movement worldwide, which is active and growing now within 4 continents and over a dozen countries. The youth movement is so very much needed and is very exciting. Today, over half the world's population is under age 30, but they have little or no say-so in decisions that shape their future. It's time for young people to be better educated with the necessary life skills to lead enjoyable, successful, and meaningful lives. Improving financial awareness and financial literacy are a key element of those skills. It's time for our young people, like the female population, to be much more visible and heard in the halls of power. The public trusts young people, both male and female, to participate in decision-making, but they remain massively underrepresented in public life.
That is right, Valentino. With the Improving Financial Awareness and Financial Literacy Youth Movement, our mission is to significantly enhance the quality of life of young people through better personal financial management. Our vision is a world where every young person is well educated and has personal finance knowledge, access to the right financial advice, and the skills and tools to manage their finances. We are providing everyone the opportunity to achieve and maintain their financial stability, security, and freedom throughout their lives. We are giving everyone the ability to pass on their values, knowledge, and access to future generations to make their lives and this world a better place, ending inherited poverty for all. We see our initial key projects to be youth and money conferences and concerts, youth dialogue and town hall meetings, university associations and clubs, financial awareness and financial literacy, social media contests and challenges, business and entrepreneurial boot camps, incubators and accelerators. We see a greater youth and women representation, and much more. Now, let's hear from some of our colleagues from around the world.
Hello and welcome from Phoenix, Arizona in the United States. My name is Marie Burns. I'm a certified financial planner and an ambassador for the Financial Awareness Foundation. I help women with their money life through my planning practice and financial education for women businesses. Ladies especially, I want you to know that 90% of all women will eventually be solely in charge of their household finances. So money is an important tool in all of our lives, and I wholeheartedly support this financial literacy youth movement, and I'm so excited you've chosen to join us.
Hello, my name is Pamela Chikore, all the way from Southern Africa. I'm a strong advocate for women and youth empowerment. There is no doubt that Africa is the richest continent in terms of natural resources. Its youthful population gives it a competitive advantage. However, the inability to marry these two aspects has resulted in Africa being undermined, its youths being disadvantaged, and its resources being exploited. Great news, there is a solution called financial literacy that will not only enable Africa's young people to create wealth, but will give them the skills and the tools they need to create sustainable wealth. You are the pioneers of this movement. Welcome on board.
Namaste from India. My name is Shilpa and I am the founder and Chief Financial Wellness Coach at Nerdy Bird Financial Wellness. At Nerdy Bird, it is our vision to see women around the world finding their financial confidence. I'm proud to be an ambassador at the Financial Awareness Foundation. I believe that money is a very important tool for you to accomplish all that is important to you in life. And therefore, it's important for you to have the right knowledge, a good plan in place, as well as action around your money. I'm proud to be supporting and advocating the financial awareness and financial literacy youth movement. And I welcome you to join us.
Hello, my name is Henry Dia. I'm a research analyst and ambassador of the Financial Awareness Foundation. I believe financial literacy among the youth is a vital skill set that shapes their future in profound ways. Imagine a world where every young individual understands how to manage money wisely, avoid debt pitfalls, and invest for their dreams. Financial literacy isn't just about numbers, it's about empowerment. When young people grab the concept of budgeting, saving, and making informed decisions, they unlock a world of possibilities. They become equipped to navigate the complex landscape of personal finance, setting the stage for a life of economic stability and the ability to turn aspirations into reality. I support the financial literacy youth movement and I invite you to come on board.
Hi, my name is Mimi Ananiapia. I'm a financial advisor. I currently work as a team lead for the education and advisory department of Access Pension Trust. I believe that every young person should become financially literate, and my reason being that the good book, the Bible, says that money answers all things. I believe to have a good quality life, money management is key. By learning early, you avoid certain money mistakes that could cost you a lot in the long run. You also take advantage of principles like compound interest that helps you to grow your money over time. I support the financial literacy youth movement and I encourage you to come on board.
My name is Elijah.
an advocate for youth participation in leadership and inclusiveness in decision making. Financial literacy is very essential in debt management. Young people often face significant financial challenges such as student loan and credit card debt. Financial literacy helps them understand the consequences of debt, the importance of responsible borrowing, and the strategies for managing and paying off debt effectively. On this background, I fully support the financial literacy youth movement, and I invite everyone to come on board.
Hello from Canada. My name is Genevieve Amebo. I am a chartered professional accountant and also an advisor for the Center for Financial Literacy Africa. We all know that Africa is the continent with the youngest population, having about 40% of its population 15 years and younger compared to the global average of 25%. As Africa develops, we cannot afford for these young people who will be the future leaders to grow without having the effective tools needed to manage their finances. It is for this reason why I am excited and I support the financial literacy youth movement, and I am inviting you to join us.
Hello, my name is Daniela Kostranani and I'm the president of the Banking and Finance Youth Association of Central University. I believe financial literacy amongst the youth is important because it is the beginning of wealth creation and personal development. As a young person being in school, starting a career or starting any activity that will bring revenue in for you, you need to know how to manage your finances, and financial literacy gives you just that. It is important for you to know how to save, how to invest, and how to avoid bad financial habits that will jeopardize your future. Any other decision in your life as a young person, or as any other person for that matter, is impacted by how you manage your finances. How much money you have, how you've planned for your future, for your retirement, affects everything in your life and thereby affects your development as a person, personal development. And that is why I support the youth financial literacy movement and invite you to come on board. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Ibrahim Yunus. I'm sending love from Ghana to everybody. Well, I'm an expert in three fields: self-esteem, finance, and relationship. I believe that if you have a happy relationship and you are financially free and you have a good self-esteem, I think we'll build a very better world. So you need financial awareness, financial literacy to act right, become right, and do right. And if you're able to do that, you become financially free. Money is very important for the youth. If a youth is not able to satisfy the basic needs, some of them will become nuisance to the society. In order to prevent that, why not giving them good financial literacy? Once they have financial literacy, they will make wise financial decisions. And if they're able to make wise financial decisions, they are going to become financially free. What a world where every youth is financially free. Then we can decide to do things. We have the free will, we have the freedom to live right. A lot of people are not living. They are slavery to money because they don't understand financial literacy. That is why I believe and support the financial literacy youth movement. And I encourage everybody to also
Hello everyone, and welcome from the Mountain Kingdom of Lesotho. My name is Dibusen Titi. I am a life coach and a financial education instructor. I am the founder of Lesedi Financial Literacy Institute and the lead ambassador for Financial Awareness Foundation in Lesotho. Our intention is to educate every Mosotho and equip them with the necessary skills to reach the financial freedom. The intention we cannot accomplish without involvement of our youth and their young minds. A young mind is the biggest asset for economic growth and development. Equipping our youth with financial literacy competencies and tools will enable them live a financially secure life in future. I fully support the financial literacy youth movement and welcome everybody on board, mostly Basotho.
So we'll just hear from her, okay?
My name is
we'll
Reina Zaula. I'm from Tanzania. I'm the CEO of Muka Tanzania and is the Administrative Officer for SOMI Foundation. Financial literacy among youth is very important because it encourages youth into savings and investment. Through financial literacy, youth get to learn how they can save their money for the future and they can invest their money wisely. They learn the benefit of compound interest and how they can make their money work for them over the future. I'm here to support the financial literacy youth movement, and I welcome you on board to support.
Hello, I'm called Joyce Wilfred. I'm managing director of a company called the Upright Audit Firm.
That it's a global movement, and I put your hands together for the Financial Awareness Foundation for their commitment to this cause. At this very moment, I wouldn't want to mince words, but invite some of our stakeholders who've been with us from day one, supporting this cause, to share some very brief goodwill messages. Brief in a minute so we can wrap it up for today. The very first one is right here from the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, Madam Akosua Champon, if you're here. Champoma, is she here? Oh, put your hands together for Madam Akosua Champoma as she makes her way up here to give us a brief remark.
Hello, good afternoon. Okay, I'm very well known as Akosua and representing the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana today. And on behalf of CIB, we would like to say a very big thank you to Peter and his team. We are very grateful to be partnering with you. It's a great cause and we are very privileged to be part. And I would like to introduce our CIB flagship program to you since I have the opportunity now. And before that, I see a lot of students here, so I'd like to ask a very simple question. How many students do you think graduate every year? Yes, in Ghana, only in Ghana. In fact, let's limit it, Accra. Yes, university please, tertiary. 30,000. I want our students to also give me some responses. 100,000, that's wow. Okay, so that gives us a fair idea of the number of people we are getting out of school with. Now, let's throw our minds back. In SS, you had seniors. They have also graduated. How many? Another thousands. Plus your year group, another thousands. So that gives you how the reality of the number of people who are on the job market. And the truth of the matter is, when people retire, that's when we get the vacancies. Until somebody opens a new company, vacancies continue to be very limited. Now, what differentiates you from your peers is your professional certifications. Everybody is in school for one thing, a degree. And the probability of about 100% graduating with just a degree is very high. Now we want you to differentiate yourself from your peers. Get an upper hand, an added advantage. That is why CIB Ghana is here today to introduce to you the CIB Ghana flagship program. Now, how do you become a member of CIB? We need just a photocopy of your transcript. And the good news is that we don't want you to graduate before enrolling on the program. We have an offer for students where you provide us with a copy of your transcript if you are in level 300. If you're in level 300, you'll be given an exemption from level 1 to 2, and you start from level 3. That's good news, and I think it's a good place to clap for CIB Ghana. Yes, but it comes with just one condition. That is if you're studying banking and finance or accounting. Our colleagues from the other faculties will have to start from level 1 and then complete to level 4. So it's not that bad. And another good thing is, when you are a student, we don't let you pay for your exemption whilst you are in school, because of course we know you don't have money. So complete the program. After the program, then you can pay for your exemption. And I think it's another good place to clap for CIB. Okay. So anytime you talk about money or talk about anything that involves commitments, people want to know about the benefits. Another benefit that CIB has for you is we are giving you the opportunity to mingle with those in the industry. In class, you'll be with managers, you'll be with operations head, you'll be with all the big boys in the industry, for lack of a better description. So it gives you the opportunity to mingle with them. And that also tells you what they are expecting. You make friends with people who can hold your hands to climb the professional ladder or the career ladder. And also the next thing is, as I mentioned, added advantage. You at an interview panel, definitely you will be accepted over those who have just a degree. We have a desk outside if you want to know more about CIB, which I think all of you want to know more because we have exciting packages for students. I'll encourage you to walk to me. I give you all the details and take you through the registration process. We have a discounted registration fee for students of 300 cedis. You don't have to pay 550 like a regular person walking in. You pay 300 cedis for students and then you start the program. Tuition is 100% virtual. You can opt to stay in the comfort of your home to join CIB program. We write exams twice in a year, April and October. And the examination period is just for 1 week. So the only time you come to the institute is just 2 weeks out of the whole year. So you don't have to be coming here every day. And I think it's good news because in Ghana, moving around is now becoming another stress. Traffic and fuel is becoming something else we can't be talking about now. So CIB Ghana is here to welcome you and give you all the good offers to encourage you to join the financial industry and be a better person in the near future and have the added advantage over your peers. Thank you very much for having me, and it's been a good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Akosia. I think I'm just beginning to get myself in the YouTube, right? Let's try and get ourselves into CIB. So nice offer right there. The next who I will invite up here to give us a very brief remark is no other than our very own Ato Ozanapia from Ghana Thing. Put your hands together for Ato as he makes it up here to give us remarks. You know, one thing Ato does is that he likes the class, and also when he sees young people, he's so happy.
Thank you. Talking about young people, when we were growing up, they told us the young people were the future. We are not the future. We are now. We have to lead now. I remember in 2003, I think VIP's Ahunkawum won the Song of the Year at the Ghana Music Awards. Young people had arrived. So there are lots of things that young people lead in Ghana, and I hope we would all start leading now. My name is Atuol Zanapia. I'm with the Ghana Think Foundation. We are a social enterprise in the youth empowerment space. We run programs for young people in networking, mentoring, training, and volunteering. I started meeting Peter when he started coming to some of the bar camps that we organize in Ghana, which are free networking forums for young people around Ghana to be able to learn, to be able to share who they are so they can learn even better for themselves, to network and get mentored. It's really great to be, for Ghana Think to be a partner for this National Estate and Gift Planning Awareness Month. At various bar camps, Peter has led a number of breakout sessions about financial literacy. And in April last year, this year, and I think the year before, we also organized Connect meetups around the country to let people more people learn about financial literacy. So exciting to be here. It's exciting to partner with this. I think we've heard so many great things today. I hope we will leverage it to become better and to be, to be different so that we have a much better country. Thank you very much, and more of him to everyone.
I appreciate it. We can do it better for him. Please put your hands together for Atozen. Now, last but not the least, is another very wonderful figure from Ilapi, Mr. Peter Kofi Bismarck. Are you here, sir? All right, put your hands together for Mr. Pete Kofi Bismarck. You can make it louder for him, All our guests in this house, they like applause. Put your hands together for him, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I think I've been ambushed because I'm not aware I'll be speaking here. Right, so I work with the Institute for Liberty and Policy Innovation in Tema. So what we do is that we run public policy research. And then we are working on something like this. But ours is more like administrative challenges. So we are looking at how to assess the funds when you die interstate. So we are working with lawyer Sosu, that's the Medina MP, to reform the structures involved in assessing the funds at Senate, the banks, and the insurance, because there are a lot of hurdles to cross to assess the funds. I think lawyer was talking about it, and look, it's a hell if you want to go for the funds. There are structures put in place that if you can't afford the process, you will lose the funds with the Bank of Ghana, because the Bank of Ghana is saying that if your account is dormant for 3 years, the bank must contact the next of kin. I don't know if the bank has ever contacted a next of kin after 3 years. Now, after 3 years without still no transactions on the bank account, the money must be moved to Bank of Ghana for keep forever, meaning that the Bank of Ghana has monopoly over who should assess the funds or who must have control over the funds when there's no transactions. So we are working on trying to reform the processes so that you and I can easily assess the funds when you die interstate. So we are partnering with Peter to hold a high-level policy dialogue with the individuals in the industry to reduce it. Now, the good news is that we have internship for some of you, and it's free but paid for, so we pay for your internship. I think we should clap for us. We are one of the institutions paying for internship in the country. So we've had competitive internship applications. We have those, every year we have only 6. So we pick 3 from outside the country and 3 from Ghana, meaning that it's quite competitive. But should you have the chance, you are going to learn a lot beyond what you've learned back in the classrooms. Thank you so much.
That's so wonderful to hear. We can do it better for him, please. Nice people. Let's do it for him. They say every good thing has a beginning and has an end. And just as the old tales are told, you were here. I was also here. You heard something, right? I also heard something. And we, just as we do, we go out there and then we tell somebody something of what we heard today. If it was good, you will say it. If it was bad, you will say it. I know that what you got from here today is good. And therefore, let's hear the good news go out there. The stakeholders are well known to you. CFLE is within the stakes and has brought all these wonderful stakeholders together to do this for us. Put your hands together for everyone who has been part of this program. And I want to end by saying that if you haven't gotten the content of AAU TV, please do. AAU TV is giving you that free platform to share your product. Income is the beginning of your freedom financially. And therefore, as a student, if you want to be an entrepreneur with a new idea and you want a TV station to help you advertise your product for free, it's just AAU TV doing this for you. Just take the number 0266 296 601. One last time, 0266 296 601. And then let AAU TV help you brand your products out there for you to also grow your business. At this moment, I'm going to invite Uncle Ato to help us with the closing prayer. Uncle Ato, where are you? Okay, put your hands together for Uncle Ato. Oh, okay. So, it's Senior Ato, right? Okay, yeah, it's Senior Ato, yes. So it's Senior Ato. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so before the closing prayer, we want to give a big clap to our resource persons. And I always want to leave such programs with some element of action. Let's say action. So let me see action on our faces. Action. Starting with the A, let's open a action. And if you agree with me, let me see your hands. So what I'm driving at is that don't let this occasion be an occasion that we came, or they said we should come. We came and we have conquered. That's not what I stand for. I stand for that in a year's time, all of us will be back here with testimonies. And testimonies is simply a combination of monies with a test. Hello? So we are all going to go through the challenges as human beings, as students, as adults, as pensioners, but then we will come out with monies. And so we will have testimonies. Peter, so that you can identify, because he's also a young man, a very young man like all of us, including me. You don't think I'm young? I'm the global youth president. So Peter met me, let me put it that way, and Peter, if I'm wrong, say, at a similar event organized by one other foundation that I am involved with, Makula Foundation. And Makula Foundation is purpose-driven for women in enterprise. So the Makula is just used as an umbrella name. And Peter, though he's not a woman, and though he's not a market woman, but Peter was there. And then Peter approached me after. And so many youth approach Ankla, so I just, but the point I'm trying to make today is that Peter was persistent in following up. No, Ankla, no. And 3-4 years on, this is where God has brought Peter through his CFLE Africa and the TFA Foundation in over, 20 countries all over the globe. And he is barely 30 years. Has it come? It hasn't come. Because he's the same age as my last child. He's not up to 30, and he's already affected continents. And when I say this with passion, and I say this with goose pimples on me. And therefore, I'm not here on a Saturday where there are outdoorings and funerals and things like that. And I have my black kente in the car and weddings. But I'm here that each of us would live here with a vision, an individual vision. Close your eyes and ask yourself, when I'm 80 years, how would I want to be? And work your way down. Work your way down up to today. I'm saying that again. Close your eyes and see yourself when you are 80, when all is said and done. And start from there. This is how I want to. And then work your way down and document your way down. And when that is done, that vision will be accomplished by the grace of God. So Propatra, we stand on only 3 things. Propatra itself means for the homeland. pro, for, patria, the fatherland, the motherland, the homeland. And 3 things: youth, enterprise, and the God factor. And when we say youth, it's about all of us gathered here. When we say enterprise, it is not only commercial enterprise making profit for you and your family, but the other important part of enterprise, like what CFLE Africa and TFAF are doing, is what we call social enterprise. And so the third one is the God factor. Hear me, fellow youth. The God factor is not about going to church or going to the mosque. The God factor is about moral. It's about ethics. Because when all is said and done and you have made all that money, if it's not backed by ethics, by moral, by giving back to society in the form of estates and gifts, legacies, not only to your biological children, but to impoverished people. So I urge you, during your holidays, visit orphanages. Hello? Visit orphanages and see what other children and youth are doing there. Volunteer. Volunteer. They said there is no jobs, there is job in Ghana. And I know a good number of people who have gone to UNDP, have gone to FAO, gone to British Council, and just say, I want to volunteer. And see what the Lord will do for you. And that is my message to you. It should be God in action. And God in action is my prayer for you, and my prayer for myself, and my prayer for Ghana and the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uncle Ato, for the spirited remark. Apparently, you're supposed to do the closing prayer, right? You had to pray. In fact, amen. An amen from you will do. Amen. That is it. Yes. Amen. Put your hands together for him, please. And if you're delighted to be here, it is just right at this point where I tell you that I have experienced the shortest prayer plus action words. It's all one package. It's a prayer and action together. And with this kind of zeal, I want to appreciate you all for coming, all students, special guests, and all the stakeholders. May God bless you all, and may He strengthen you for all your dreams to come to pass. More income, more opportunities, more thinking, more strategic attempts to situate your lives, that's your family, into a better way. Don't forget to also do a will. God bless you all. Have a nice day and bye. All right. So we have to come together and take a group photograph. Yeah, and the snacks also at the lobby. So first things first is that we make our way up here with the special guests in front. Participants, let's rally around them together and then take a very good photograph. Let's do that within a short while before we go for our snacks. So you all can make your way up here so we can rally behind them and take the group photograph. Come on, come. And let's put the projector off. Good. Great. So I think we need additional chairs. A lot of chairs. Can you help, please? Let's hook this up here. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we have to move the two to that side, if that's possible. Yeah. Are we good with the chairs? So we can now have the rest standing. Yeah. I think to this side. Yeah, to this side. Hello, Ato. I need you to sit down. Yeah. Okay, so let's do it beautifully. Ladies in front, all right, gentlemen. Ensure that if a lady is behind you, kindly allow her to be in front of you. Yes. It's a natural law, right? A good one. Some of you can be here. Occupy the front side. Yeah, come forward. Yeah, please come forward. Come forward. Yeah, come forward. Yeah. Yes, come forward, yes. Come forward, yes. Be here, close to the shop. Yes. And let's see. You two, please come forward, okay? You can be here. You don't have to be there, just come be here. Yeah. Occupy this place, okay? Come forward. Yeah, come forward. It's all parts. You don't have to hide at the back. What is the space over here, okay? Please come forward, sure. Can you see me?